Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Computer Games Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
And James Farley.
Hello.
We have a slightly different start to the show this week. We have to issue an apology, and it's something that we have to really address face on. Everyone at TCGS, myself, James, Sean and Matt included, would like to send an apology to Nate the Hate for the flippant way we spoke about you last week. We were wrong. You were right. Tier 2 isn't high enough for you, in my opinion. No. And we sincerely apologise for any offence caused or any doubt that was thrown your way. We're sorry, Nate. You were bang on. And thank you for considering the gaming community when you break this news to us. Thank you.
Yes, and just to follow up on that, if there is a campaign to really get behind Nate to get him to tier 1 or
some sort of
maybe another tier, we will do everything we can with our connections, our power, our listeners to get him to the rightful tier where he needs to be.
I mean, in our heart, he is S tier at this point. So,
well, the tiers aren't.
Let's not take the piss, James. Let's not take the piss, James.
You all took it too far.
That's a shame.
We'd like to thank our Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights to Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas, Tom S, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Jack Oven, Jonathan Edwards, Grey Dragon Claw, Ramalaptar, Colin the Car Wanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, Mock Turtle Soup, My Dog Skip, Dean, and Haribo Cart. They're the Full Nels crew, and we thank each and every one of them. Thank you for helping support the show. Genuinely, we wouldn't be going if it wasn't for you guys or anyone that signed up at our Patreon producers, anyone that signed up to our Patreon at patreon.com/TCGS. Different tiers. We're going to be recording the bonus show this week, so you should have that by the end of the week. And then we've got our video thing that we haven't quite worked out yet, but things are all calming down. Things are starting to calm down. James Farley is got over a hump life-wise. I think that's the right thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's on
one of the humps, one of the many.
So really, we can start planning this stuff out again. So it's all going well. For those of you keeping track, Matt still hasn't messaged the tattoo artist.
Oh yeah, yesterday I was thinking about it, but
you were thinking about it yesterday.
Cut out for me. Can you hear him?
Who? What?
I can't hear Dave.
Oh right. I mean, I can.
So can I.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those nights. What's going on?
Oh my god!
Can
Dave hear me?
Dave, can you hear Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. Right. I can hear you now. Fucking hell.
Should I refresh?
Well, it seems to be all right now.
Could you see me the whole time?
I could see you the whole time. What's great is I don't know if the audience at home could hear you or not as well. That's the best.
Well, I do know that I could like my waveforms were still coming up at the thing. Yeah, they could still hear me.
Okay, fine. Let's
okay,
crack
right,
on.
okay. I'll do that bit again.
Sorry, it's one of those things because I'm not going to say anything because it might just fix itself in a second and then it won't be worth disrupting the show.
Just went on for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that bit again.
Thank you.
And for those of you keeping track, yes, Matt Murray has again gone another week without contacting the tattoo artist.
I was thinking about messaging them yesterday or the day before, but I
will. Dave, so that's basically the same.
Well, you
didn't it, isn't it?
You didn't show me in the
when people say it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what they mean.
Thought, if I think about it, maybe he'll be like, when's the tattoo? Yeah, I'll message him this week and get that ball rolling again.
Oh God, is that a clip that you've played from the previous two shows back?
Like that bit.
Hey, I'll message him this week.
Check the tapes. I didn't think so.
You want Matt? You said, give it a week into January and I'll get it sorted, is what you said. That was the first thing. And then you said, I will message him this week.
Busy getting 10,000 jobs. Leave him alone.
Yes. Yeah, I've started a new job now. So now I can just focus on the other things, such as getting a tattoo on my arse, side of my arse. I'll message him this week. Before next week's show, I would have messaged him.
Well, but you've said this before, Matt. I don't.
No, I didn't say that. Didn't say that. before. Don't worry, I'll message him. We've had Blue Monday. That's today. Worst day of the year, etc. That's gone. Now we can focus on the
made
tattoo.
up. It's not real.
The Blue Monday
Oh.
thing really pisses me off because like someone tried to brand depression.
Yeah.
Joe said
Yeah,
it to
but
me
like,
this
but
morning,
who's
and I was
winning
like,
out of this
"Well, I don't know."
brand? What
What
is
is
the
it? I've
brand?
never
It's holiday
even heard of
companies.
this.
It's travel
Yeah,
agencies.
it's a day where they're like, it's like week before the first payday, and you're depressed. Your diet's out the window. You've broken dry Jan. You're back in your old habits. It's kind
So
of like
is it like you've done that to better spend some money on something?
Yeah, why don't you book yourself a holiday?
Right, okay.
That's
Well, yeah. Support
Matt.
the. Well, I'm just saying
How
I've
many,
read online.
how many holidays did you book today?
0, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Patreon.com/TCGS to support the show. Thank you so much. James,
Yeah.
you weren't on the show last week. First opportunity to skip out. Play, what do they call it? Play hooky? Is that right?
That is a phrase which I've only heard in the last few weeks. I was like, when someone said John, I just hadn't heard that term before. Play
Well, it
hooky.
used to be bunking off school when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
it's always bunking in my day. But it was like, play hooky.
Hooky
Like,
was,
what the
that's an American thing, isn't it? Like some American
well,
things.
Oh, like American thing. I say 2.
James,
Anyway,
I'm
hooky.
assuming you've got lots of notes on last week's show. Let's go through them.
I've got 2 bits of feedback actually for the show. There was 2 bits that there's one bit I enjoyed, and it was
only
the
one
bit.
bit? For the whole
No,
episode.
No, it's the one bit. Okay, the whole episode was great. It was great to hear Sean again. LeBeau, not Bill. Although Bill, you were great as well. As
Nice
in
of you to
general.
Bell. Bell, you were great as well. Bell. Wait, Bell.
But no, there was the bit. It was that bit where David was talking about the Stanley Parable and how much Charlie was enjoying it and playing it on PlayStation, and then you were like, oh, and then I had to go and buy it on Switch because I wanted to watch the football, and then Sean was like, couldn't you just have played it on Portal? And I know, like David, you had a good response to that. It was the silence in between him saying that and before you then gave the justification, which was quite funny because it was like the penny had just dropped for like a second.
There was part of me that was
Yeah.
thinking, actually, would I have broken my rule and let him use the portal if I'd have thought of it at the time? But I just didn't think of it at the time. And that's also the other issue, right? It's still a problem with the portal that even after all these amendments they've made to it and the stuff they've introduced to it, you still can only have one profile on it, right? You can't switch profiles.
You can, but you have to sign out and then
You have to
sign in,
out
and it's a
then
whole
sign in.
thing, which is
It's a
annoying.
ball ache, yeah. But, and you have to obviously set each one up to allow remote. I
Remote play.
wonder how that works when. Anyway, yeah, no, it was a bit silly. Well done, you've caught me out there.
But no, it was
Sean.
quite. But it was great to hear about Stanley
Well done,
Parable again, though. It's no, it was good. It's good to hear about Stanley Parable again because it's like
It's a good game.
Asher played it as well, like recently, and he had the similar sort of experience. And then Rachel started playing it this weekend, and she really
On Switch
enjoyed
or
it as well.
Portal?
with the kids.
Yeah.
Stanley Parable, they love it. Fortnite and Stanley Parable's right there.
Right next to each other. There is something about it though. There's a lot of kids that I know that don't play a lot of games, but for some reason that's up there. I'm assuming it's a streamer's paradise, right? I guess
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second bit, I just want to address this again because, and I want to draw a line under this because I'm getting a bit sick of it.
Oh,
So, I had nothing to do with the purchase of the Alamo, okay? And the thing is, right, is you are essentially calling my wife a liar if you persist with this conspiracy, okay? Because it's not true.
No, we're calling you a liar.
No, she will come on it and she will tell you she did the entire thing
Duress.
by herself, not under duress. She did it as a lovely gift, as a nice surprise. That's what
There's
that was
no
about.
way it was a nice surprise. There was no way it was a surprise.
There's no
It
surprise
was a
about it.
surprise. It was
You
a
were
total
told her about
surprise.
it enough for her to think, oh, I guess I better get this then.
It's not true. It was a very thoughtful
How
gift.
did she hear about it then?
What do you mean? It was all
Oh,
over the
we know
news and
James.
stuff.
Is it all
Right,
over the
Sorry,
news?
it was all over the news. That's
James
a
like,
good
oh,
point.
hey everyone.
That's a good point, Matt. So
No,
how did
okay,
she know
look.
about it in the first
No, like
place?
Asher knows about it. He uses his Switch. She's got a Switch
Well,
as
hang on,
well.
yeah, from
One of
the
many.
Yeah.
conversation James had with Chen on the show, we know James told her about it because she said, you said
That's
it would be like a
right.
good investment.
He
and
showed him the advert and
Yeah, I
said
showed-
this will
exactly,
be
but I
worth a lot
didn't-
of money.
But I did not tell her to buy it, and I did not help her to buy it. So these two things
as
are not
we've
true.
said before, that's the phrase. That's the phrase that you use. That will be worth money. Wink,
Well, no,
wink.
it could
buy
be.
for
So
me.
it was
don't know.
mentioned once or twice, and then she thought,
It's
"Oh,
not-
I think
but hold- sorry,
my
hold on,
husband
Matt.
would really
Hold
want
on,
that
Matt.
alarm clock that you mentioned
Hold
once."
on, Matt.
Yep.
It's not going to be worth money when you rip it out of the wrapping paper straight away and you put your sweaty little paws all over it every morning when you hear.
I've made sure the box is in pretty good condition. You know, it's
think
Look, right, okay, I've seen you do unboxings.
Yeah.
There's no way that box is in good.
That's ripped to shreds.
You claw at the boxes. You're
Yeah.
like a 5-year-old on Christmas
It's like a
Day.
cat in some cardboard. Yeah, a
Tell you
newspaper.
what, there still is no Animal Crossing download for that. I'm still
What's
gutted.
the point
about
in
I
even
that.
having
know.
it?
That's a shame, isn't it?
Stuck with the Zelda one at the moment.
I bet you were livid about all this Switch 2 stuff. Like, focus on the real thing here, not Switch
Yeah,
2.
come on.
That's boring.
Nintendo's taken their eye off the ball.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Focus
Well, I
on
mean,
that.
when they revealed the alarm, they did give more detail than they did for the Switch 2, which is quite good.
Oh,
Yeah.
cutting.
Yes. Anyway, yes,
But
I just refuse to believe that after one or two mentions of it, Chen's like, I think I will go and buy that alarm clock for my adult husband.
Yeah, because she just thought she'd get me something nice, you know?
Okay, well, but we won't mention it again. I think that's drawn
I
down
mean,
under
I'm
it.
going to mention it all the time, Matt. You cannot mention it
Okay.
again. That's going to be a regular thing
Just
for me.
calling my wife a liar. I'm not very happy about that.
Come on,
No,
you,
no.
You say you're a lying there.
Yeah.
No, I'm calling you. We're calling you a liar, mate. We're
yeah,
calling you a
not
liar.
Chen.
We think you're full of shit, and that cannot be a surprise. Is that it for your feedback?
Yeah, it was a good show. I
Shame.
did enjoy it.
I was
It
enjoying
nice.
that. It's the best thing you've done in ages. Feedback for the rest of the listeners, Matt.
Yes, Kurt Lewin. Feedback. Funniest films to write on the Prince Charles Cinema Blackboard. I would suggest a classic film, but you specify the remake of that film that people don't like. Something like The Lion King, but the live-action version. That, or something very specific, like the Millwall Season Review 2001 to 2002. Cheers.
That was a good season, if I remember correctly. Actually, I think was that the one we got promoted. I can't remember. I still think Sonic 3 is the funniest answer out of them. I just think the fact that it is just a normal film that is currently in the cinema and it's also quite trashy and not unique, and I think you're gonna have to do something pretty special to beat
think-
Sonic 3.
It's just the right level, that is. Because if you choose something like Minions or something like that, it's a bit obvious, isn't it? You know, something like...
It's a bit like a little bit wacky.
Yeah. But
I remember Chet did have a really good answer to that. I'm going to text him now to see if he replies. But yeah, okay, stay with if it's any funnier than my Sonic 3 one, I'll read it out. Okay.
Okay. This is from Just So You Know. I don't want to discourage you from committing to Metaphor ReFantasio, Sean, but holy hell does the game fall off a cliff in the last 20 or so hours. You know that story you love? The new characters being revealed at a nice steady pace, the varied combat that encourages experimentation and is surprisingly rich and juicy. Get ready for none of that in the last quarter. Instead, it's the most miserable grindfest I've ever experienced in video gaming. Literally, it's a parade of bosses you've already fought, which you beat by doing the same moves in the same order, all while nothing happens in the story and the characters just hammer on about how we can solve all the world's problems by being nice, working together and believing in ourselves. I nearly bailed at 50 hours in, and now at 90 hours in, I almost wish I had. Sorry to break it to you, maybe you'll have more fun.
This is really strange, right?
Go on.
I don't know. You see, I tried... You see, I heard you talking about this because I tried with this game twice to get into it. And
I
I
tried
just...
it once, but I didn't realise it was a second.
I just
I thought
realised...
this was an insanely popular game. I thought
Yeah,
it
it
did
is.
really, really
Yeah,
well.
it's
And
Yeah,
everyone
some people
says
said
this is
Game of the
amazing.
Year.
Yeah. It's just... I mean, I played it. I was like, it's not for me at all. I'm just not digging the
It's
environment.
more the
thing.
setting for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
You
I
don't
just
do
really
fantasy
didn't like
stuff.
it.
Yeah. I mean, it's I do want to play more of it, but there's so much stuff coming out in the next few weeks.
Is
Is
it?
there? What have you got on your
Well,
list?
simply play it before that, I would say.
Yes,
Well, when the
just
first
need to
thing
finish
is-
it. Well, so obviously, so this week, spoilers. I'm going to talk about Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Oh, yes, I heard people
Citizen
saying
Sleeper
good things about that.
2 is a couple of weeks away. Lonely Mountains Downhill 2 is out. That's today? Is it today?
Oh.
Tomorrow? Soon? Anyway, this week. And then what's that other one that's coming to Game Pass? I keep forgetting the name of it. Something Strands Fallen. I can't remember. Looks all right. Anyway, looks really good.
Okay.
That's that.
Well, that's it. Put that on the
A
box.
game I've just made up is coming out this week, and it looks fantastic.
What is it?
Is it-
What sort of game is it?
It's kind of it's sort of an action RPG. It's about sort of resource gathering, but also there's like Shadow of the Colossus style battles in it. Yeah, it looks alright.
Is it called Eternal Strands? That's the
Eternal
one.
Strands, that's the one.
It's from former BioWare and Ubisoft developers.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it looks good.
That screams quality.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, I'll try that.
Unbelievable.
I'll try that. I'll give that a go.
We should get a session. Maybe that can be the Patreon stream this month. We do Lonely Islands Downhill 2.
I mean,
How about
yes, because I'm looking at gameplay footage of this one, and I don't know.
No.
There's
We
other
can do
games coming. There's other games coming, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, name one.
We'll all look forward to that. Mario Kart 8 Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, that is coming this year. Okay, right, let's move on.
We'll come back to that.
Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox has messaged, please cover Elon Musk being found out for lying about his Path of Exile account and gameplay. then having a meltdown on X and removing the streamers' verified marks and suppressing their tweets. The fact he'd lie about that is absolutely fascinating. I'd love to hear Sean rant on this. What a strange human. Why would he want to lie to appeal to such a niche group of people? Either way, it's absolutely funny as fuck. Keep up the good work, lads. Also, Jeff Bezos has message saying, if I don't get a Sean monologue on how strange Elon is, I'm going to blacklist all 4 of you from Amazon.
The thing is, I've not really got like a rant about it because it's just so obviously fucking embarrassing by itself, right? There's nothing to add or say. Yeah, he's
It's just
desperate
pathetic.
to be liked,
Yeah.
but he's also very rich and he's tried to buy his way into yet another thing.
Yeah, I don't think I heard the end of the story. I know, like, is it Asmongold? Is that even who it was?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he's
who's saying like,
also
hey, if he
pretty gross,
really is in like this level of skill in Path of Exile, then he would have streamed or something on X. But I didn't see what happened at the end, so he got found out that it was all bollocks.
So all I really know is that so he's made claims on the Joe Rogan show about fucking mastering Diablo 4, and then now it's Path of Exile 2, which if you're not familiar is a similar sort of game. And basically, his character has got gear and stuff that like you would only have if you basically played the game full time since it came out. And he did a stream where he played a bit of it, but he clearly had no idea what he was doing or what the gear was useful for. Like, didn't seem to know anything. And then he got Grimes to tweet about how good he is at Diablo 4, and it sounded the tweet reads like she did it at fucking gunpoint.
Say something like,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, exactly.
it's just I don't. The thing that sticks out with that guy, obviously ignoring all the horrible stuff and what he's doing is working and it's really horrible and nasty, and ignoring the depressive reality of it all.
Yeah.
I just every time he makes a joke, I'm like, I'm not sure. It's like, for me, it's like Phil Jupiter, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. But every time
Phil Jupiter.
It's Phil Jupiter.
Phil Jupiter.
Phil Jupiter. Every time Phil Jupiter makes a joke, I go, what? that's exactly the same thing I get from Elon Musk every time. I can't wrap my head around.
But at least Phil Jupiter's is a comedian, whereas Elon Musk is just an embarrassing man-child.
I don't know if he should be. Is what I'm saying.
It's amazing how much stuff Elon's done and it's just been complete. I mean, as we know, we're in an era now where there's just no consequences for anything, right?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They can say what and do what they want
the
now.
whole what's that fake account he has on X, and everyone knows it's him, and he's like, oh no, Elon's cool. He gets lots of sex.
Yeah, and that account, that alt account that Elon has, that admitted it's him. He was saying tweets to the Elon Musk account saying, "You're such a great father. Kids are so lucky to have you."
Yeah.
It's like you were tweeting yourself for that. What the fuck?
Okay.
It's going to be incredible, like 100 years down the line when historians are like picking through all of this. They're going to have so much data to go through and just so much like try that, and they probably still won't be able to figure it out either. They'll just be like, "This is just insanity."
That's because historians are lazy, aren't they?
It's okay. I think things calm down.
Have to pay £400 to find out what they...
Yeah. From a fucking
£30 in paperback.
Wasn't £30 in paperback?
£300, wasn't it?
It is. Have a look.
Right. That's still too expensive for what is essentially a book.
Well, it's quite literally a book. Yeah.
Years of research. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but discount it.
I don't have any control over the pricing.
Yeah, no, I think Elon's calming down now. The only thing he's done at Trump's inauguration is potentially do a Hitler salute and do a bad dance. So that's all cool. I mean, that's just what I saw online. Let's move on. Geen, I'm 42 years old, and I'm 42 years old, with the only interaction I have with the youth being my 13-year-old niece. So perhaps I simply can't understand. But David's tangent on his son's obsession with Fortnite has me thinking he's somewhat forgotten what it's like to be a kid. Granted, Fortnite wants you to keep playing. Those daily, weekly, and seasonal quests are not an accident, but I have incredibly vivid memories of being absorbed by a single game for months and years at a time. I probably played Super Mario Bros. 3 to the point where I could have completed it blindfolded, and the Sonic Mega Drive games are the only ones I owned on that console for years. Even when I had access to more games, I'll often find myself going back to ones I knew because I love them. There's an inherent joy in learning a game and getting better at it. I'm also positive I never shut up about Sonic or Mario to anyone who would listen. As Matt said, the rant against Fortnite felt very much like an old man yelling from their lawn to stop playing that garbage and enjoy what I enjoy. Harry will eventually branch out and discover more games on his own, but hoping that another game breaks his current favourite just feels petty, especially when Fortnite is also his hangout spot to play with his mates. Let the poor kid have fun in peace. At the end of the day, it's just video games, and the last thing anyone needs is stress over entertainment. As always, thanks for the wonderful pod. You're all the best. From Geen.
I mean, what do you? I mean, you're absolutely he's absolutely 100% right. Right, you're absolutely right.
Well, okay, but like
Geen
you
is right
You
here.
acknowledge the fact that it's Harry's like social space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, of course.
So
Yeah.
You were already on top of that. I just think it's worth remembering, and Geen kind of acknowledges this, but there is a difference between something that you obsess over as a kid just because it's really good and you don't have much else to play anyway, and something that is designed by behavioural psychologists to have an addictive loop. And again,
Yeah, but
I'm
the
not
kids don't. I mean,
saying-
but
but
the kids don't care. And also like old arcade games from the 70s
Yeah,
and
that's
80s.
true.
They were designed
Yeah,
that same thing.
that's
So
always been in gaming.
to get your money.
That's always been.
yeah,
a
but
thing
it's
in
more
gaming.
sophisticated now than it used to be.
Well, I think it's a little bit more morally corrupt because so were arcades. So arcades were specifically designed to gain more money, and so is Fortnite.
But then you would only. But once you ran out of money to play an arcade,
Yeah,
that's it. You're out. Whereas something like Fortnite, it's like, well, just carry on. Like you can still be hooked on Fortnite 24 hours a day, even when you run out of cash.
and also there are
That is true.
You know, there are certain things you could buy on Fortnite that are £130 that you
Yeah.
can't on the thing. But
No,
no, I think
people have always tried to squeeze money out of gamers. That's right.
I
yeah,
do-
keep people playing. Yeah.
I do get part of the frustration though, because I think also part of this is, as he says in the email, like when you're younger, when we were younger, we only had like a couple of games or whatever, and that's all we could play. Whereas now there's such a like vast amount of like different content, different ideas, different ways of like playing stuff, that it is a bit frustrating. Like I get this as well because like Asher just plays Minecraft with his friends all the time, and like he does play other stuff sometimes, but it's like I'm just like you've got access to so much stuff that I never had or anything. It's like, why don't you just want to experience some of that other
because
stuff
we're
as
the
well?
adults now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're the grown-ups now, and we're the ones looking at the youth going, you're wasting it away. I mean, Ging, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
I do try and facilitate that stuff with Harry. I do listen to him talk about Fortnite, and I get excited for him when he's excited about the new season and all that sort of stuff. But Ging, as you say, the only interaction you've got with the youth is a 13-year-old niece. I internalize this. I don't say this to him, but I internalize this. You've not had it 24/7 over the period of weeks where all they talk. So on Fortnite, right? I'm just thinking about Fortnite. Yeah, Dad, Fortnite, right? Like you don't know how relentless it can be, and that's me not putting you down. It's like I'm just trying to explain why it is a little bit more intense, my end, because it doesn't stop. Like it doesn't. It at no point does it stop. I get spoken at about Fortnite every day, and I have done for several months now. Every single day, relentlessly about Fortnite. Last thing he said to me before he went to bed was something about Fortnite. It is it is a bit relentless, and there are moments where I go, I wish the game never existed. I'll be honest with you. I wish it never existed.
You're just like, you're wasting your life. Why don't you go out there? Just...
Yeah, you're wasting your life, I say, as I'm looking up while playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Black Ops 6.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because obviously, it's part of the the damage we had as kids, because we would, when we were younger, when kids, teenagers, whatever, there are games you would hear about or read about, but it's like, oh well, that's only out in Japan or that's only out in America. Maybe we'll get it in a year. That whole lack of access. Whereas, as James was saying, like that's all those walls have come tumbling down now, and kids just want to play one or two.
Yeah, but
things.
that's fascinating.
And obviously, and like I say, that's our hang up because of the way things were when we were young. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, to us, it's like unbelievable that they wouldn't want to play all this weird and wonderful.
But it's not just them. Like there's like the big five games that
true,
the majority of gamers are playing. It's Minecraft, Roblox, Rocket League, Fortnite, COD. It's like they take up such a huge percentage of people's gaming time now. They're like, actually, I'll just play Destiny. I mean, why not? There's loads to play. That's all we need to play. You don't have to play. Every week new experiences.
There is also something really interesting to be said about the way games are now and why that has led us to focus on like one or two games for a longer period of time. So, for example, right, and I do mean this, you've got Game Pass, but how often do you dip into the library? There are hundreds of games that you have not played in that library, and you won't because they're worthless to you mentally because they're just there and you can play them whenever you want. It's like when you receive like a Miu Mini or whatever that has 20,000 games on it. You're probably going to load up Aladdin on Mega Drive because that's what you played when you were a kid, and none of the other 19,999 games on that system, because that's the way it works. Like, you don't put any weight financial. Like when we were kids and we would get a new game, it was such a big deal. It was like, fuck, right. And it would make you want another game, like you would want one. But if you just had that shit on tap, you wouldn't have played half that. I don't think I would have played Blast Corps, which was one of my favourite, most memorable games. Had it not been in that era, had it not been, oh my God, I've got to save up for this fucking weird game.
Well, this is the thing, because especially like with Game Pass, there was definitely, like when it was new to me, there was a good, probably like a year or so, where like I would just play everything that arrived on Game Pass week one. And then after about 30 minutes, be like, oh, why am I playing this? And then that wears off. And now there's, as you say, like there's still like a bit of weight to like, oh, this has just arrived on Game Pass. Holy shit, it's new. But as you say, there's hundreds of games in that catalogue, good ones, that I've not played.
So that's...
And I just won't, because it's like, well...
I would love to know. I would love to know like what the statistics are actually on the games, like in how many are being played and all that kind of stuff. Because one of the things I've said it before that I've always been surprised about when I've played games on Game Pass is like as you get like further into them, those achievement pop-ups become the rare ones pretty quickly.
Rare achievement.
But I think that's been gaming from day one. I don't think that's a new thing.
Yeah. Because I remember,
people don't finish games like unless they're committed to them. They just don't finish them.
But I think if you put money down though to like play one thing, there's much more chance you're going to actually do that because
you
got an actual financial investment. Not that you don't not pay the Game Pass because you do, but
okay, is that it for the feedback?
Yes.
Just to acknowledge one final time, Fortnite is good. We're not.
Yeah.
Stop fucking playing that fucking. Like, it's clearly a good game. It's just...
There's a reason why it's one of the biggest games on the planet. Like, like all the seasonal stuff is incredibly clever when you do the end of season kind of shows and.
Okay, and I've said like I'll install Fortnite like once every 3 months and just be like, what is this now?
Yeah,
I don't recognise any of it. Like, and it's amazing in that sense. But yeah, sorry.
I'll tell you what was really, really interesting is that Harry turned around to me the other day and said, "Did you hear about how Apple tried to shut down Fortnite because what happened?" And he was talking about that whole legal case, right? Yeah. And I just went, "Harry, I want you to know that you're hearing what Fortnite fans want you to hear." And I remember saying at the time that we generally agreed with Epic in that argument, right? Yeah. However, the fact that they were weaponizing their audience and which okay, I don't know how you feel about that. Whether what isn't in doubt is that they were weaponizing children who were their audience, right, and forcing them to, sort of really hate Apple, and it's all this, and it's still happening now. Like those stories from that lawsuit is that Harry was like, "No, Apple, they tried to shut down Fortnite. That's really bad, isn't it? And I'm like, it's more complicated than that, Harry. I kind of
listen
agree
to
with Epic,
episodes
but the way they went around
240,
it-
260, 197.
Yeah, we do sound a bit depressed by the end. It's
fed up of it. But I did find that really, really interesting, actually. And so I don't think Epic and Fortnite are totally innocent, but I do think, Geen, and what you're saying here is absolutely right. Like, you're right. And I was like that when I was 10. But as Sean says, it was more out of necessity than anything. If I got given like 20 games, I wasn't still playing Banjo-Kazooie 25 times. I was very much trying those new games out.
Yeah, the closest I got to Game Pass when I was younger was going to like the rental store. And it's like, oh shit, there's like 8 Master System 2 games here I can rent.
but even
Who
then,
says
if
the
you
rental
rent
store who grew up
I
in
dunno.
Boulder Regis?
Yeah, I mean, I was
Where's
thinking
that
when I
come from?
started saying it, it's like, well, what do you?
The rental store.
Yeah, well,
Blockbuster is probably what everyone would say.
Well, no, because we didn't have Blockbuster in Bognor. It was like
You didn't have Blockbuster.
Well, no,
in Bognor.
sorry. Well, near where I lived in North Bursted, I think it's called Channel 5.
oh wow.
Yeah,
I love that because they'll have named that being like,
Yeah.
well, obviously there'll never be a
Yeah,
Channel
there'll never be
5.
one. And it was like, oh shit, there is one. Yeah, Channel 5 went to rent my Master System
we
Mega
had
Drive
one
games.
a video shop called it was a rental place called Gem Video, and they this is 100% true. They rented out VHSs and sold balls of wool. I don't know why. Yeah, just big balls of wool. You could go
Why
in there
not,
and
eh?
get wool, and if you looked at the top shelf, what was really they did.
Oh, yeah,
porn
what would
in
happen
there.
then?
It's
Okay.
porn. They
Okay.
did not dirty wool, Matt. like
Dunno.
filthy wool. They had pornography, but you
okay.
had to take the VHS to the man who would get his book out, write your name down, the name of the thing, and the date that you took it out, like in a physical book. And I just
Yeah.
thought, man, you can't want porn that
Bit of
much.
decorum, mate. Yeah, come on.
That is, come on. Anyway, I hope that book's never found because my name's definitely not in it.
No. It's just everyone knows the wool.
I like the
Really
creamy
fucking embarrassing.
colour.
Oh, okay,
Alright,
let's not
cool.
get into. Okay, yeah. Go if you want to leave your feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs.
Let's get to the news. James Farley.
Yeah, so the Switch 2 has finally been revealed.
All right,
It's
shut
real.
the fuck up. Let's get into this. Right.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Finally.
So remember, lads, you said this would be a short one.
I want to
tonight,
hear
so-
all the details, James. Every last bit.
Okay, so here's the summary that I got from Eurogamer. So they've confirmed magnetic Joy-Cons. That's happening.
Magnetic.
Apparently, yeah.
Well,
And-
clearly, I could see at first when this was first announced, everyone was like, "Well, how's this going to work?" And it just turns out that the actual insert bit is quite long, so I can see that working now and actually being quite sturdy. And obviously more reliable than the clips because those clips they didn't last long on a children's a child Switch, did they? You must know that, James.
Yeah, they were not
Yeah,
great.
if I
I mean,
use
the whole
any of the
quality of that machine
original
was not great.
Joy-Cons on Charlie's Switch, they just slide up the moment you put any pressure on the bottom of it because he's just fucking ripped them off. But
I wonder if
okay, yeah,
will
magnets.
this stop people putting those things on upside down? Do you remember that in the first few weeks of the Switch? Like, I'll put
God,
my
I remember that.
I'll put yeah,
What you have to
Yeah.
do is hold it really tightly and really push it.
yeah. Snap it off.
Yeah, go on.
Then also it looks like there's confirmation of some sort of like mouse functionality potentially.
Well,
I
no,
saw
this is speculative in the moment.
I
No
saw
confirmation.
it, and I just thought, no, I thought that was a cute way of them doing the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you
I
can
think
see
that's
those sensors on the. They look like the optical sensors from a mouse.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I got to have a
not
look
seen
at
these.
that again.
They do look a
weirdly,
bit like, but
two
there's
of
no
them side by
confirmation.
side, which means it might be able to read like rotation.
Who wants that?
I don't know.
Do you
Well,
We
for
don't-
RTS
It's a funny
games,
one.
RTS
don't know,
games, you
do
got
we,
your Switch.
until-
It's like one of those vertical
yeah, but
mice.
You need a desk for that to
Well,
work.
the gamer table.
Wait, hold
sure.
on. Where's
No,
the
he's
sensor on the?
getting
What are you talking about? The sensor on the bottom? The sensor on the what?
On the,
On
on
the
the
See,
Joy-Con.
there's like an
Joy-Con.
optical sensor on the spine of the Joy-Con where it would connect.
I
to
could
the
see
console.
like a purple square. I can't see an optical sensor though.
That's
I could see like a coloured cutout bit.
Right, it's been reported that it's an optical sensor, okay? Just
you
Okay,
discuss-
that bit's
by
an
me
optical
just
sensor. That's interesting then. No, that is interesting then because that's a big change to the current little end bit. What do we call them? What do we call
mean-
the end bits on the bits that you put on the top of the Switch?
rail,
not the switch. Yeah, the rail thing.
Yeah.
That sort of like the black rail thing. But there's no power or anything inside that on the normal Switch. It's literally just extensions for the shoulder buttons, right?
How do you mean?
I don't know
So
what you're talking about.
You know the slider bit on
lost
with the strap
Yeah.
on it. There's nothing in that. It's literally a bit of empty plastic and a
No,
a
that's
bit of
where the
metal.
data connection is between the Joy-Con and the console, and the power connection, because it recharges the Joy-Con from the console,
No,
doesn't it?
I'm
You're
talking about the
talking
black
about
bit.
those. Are you talking about those things that you slide on
Yes.
that no one
the,
ever
the
uses?
cover thing that goes on the top.
Oh, of course we use that. You don't use them.
I've never used one of those ever.
I mean,
So how do you play Switch Sports? Do you just like
You
hold,
just hold
the?
it. You just hold your Joy-Con
Yeah,
in
but the
it.
buttons are really hard to press without the black thing on it.
Yeah, the buttons are really hard to press, and there's no strap.
Yeah, they're really small.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
need
the
the
strap's
strap
kind
for?
of important.
You're not
Anyway,
chucking
sorry,
it
Greg,
around.
I'm on the same page now. Sorry.
Have you seen Charlie? Yeah. So what I'm saying, Sean, is that black bit that slides on, there's nothing physical in that. So we're saying that there would be something physical in these ones, like there'd actually be some sort of.
I don't
It's
know.
not just
because when
plastic
they
and
show
I've
metal.
got the sensors in the controller,
The
not in the
sensors
back
in the
thing,
controller,
right?
yeah, not
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah,
bit.
which is already in the sensor for. I'm confused. I don't know what the difference is.
Okay, don't worry
is-
about it.
There is like a coloured sort of segment at the end of those rail bits that you put onto Switch 2.
Right.
But it doesn't look like an IR sensor because they're usually black, aren't they? So I'm unsure as to what this is
So
about.
I think for the mouse functionality, I think that thing stays off.
Yeah.
That's my
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
see,
Yes.
because all the
Definitely.
rumours that I've seen is that bit because that's when it turns into a mouse when it's got that thing on and the tail is.
I mean,
the,
they do
the
show it on the
strap,
video,
right?
don't they? Because when there's that bit where the two Joy-Con are sort
Yeah,
of
if you go to
skating
1
around
minute
like that.
11 on the
yeah.
video, yeah.
That's
got
the bit with the
strap
end
on it
bits
and
put
the-
on top,
yeah,
with the strap bit. So every like rumor thing that I've seen is that's what turns it into a mouse. You
Oh,
put it
right.
on and look, it's working as a mouse now.
Oh, weird.
And then when you see the side shot of the, I don't know, man. I'm confused. I think this. I'm not convinced yet. But okay, fine.
No, I mean, nothing's confirmed. It's just like we're basing it off rumors
Guessing
and
off,
stuff in the video. But
30 seconds.
I mean, it'd be interesting. It'll be like an interesting bit of tech if they want to do it. But yeah, what percentage of Switch players have a table in front of them?
Yeah.
I'll say it's pretty low. But hey, if you want to play a certain type of game, then maybe you would.
But then maybe they're thinking like, with the tabletop mode, this seems to have a better stand and stuff. You can like and it's bigger as well than the previous one. So I don't know. Maybe they're thinking of something with that. But I mean, they gave so little information at this thing. I mean, we know that there's going to be more details at a Nintendo Direct on 2nd of April, I think they said. And we got a bit of what appears to be Mario Kart, which looked very early. And also...
But what does that mean? Very early.
It looks like a Mario
come
Kart
on,
game.
It looks shit. And then,
It doesn't look shit. It looks basically like the current Mario Kart with like an expanded. It looks expanded. Looks like it's 24 races on the
didn't come
course.
on.
I mean,
It didn't look as
Matt,
good
it
as like
didn't
Mario
look.
Kart 8.
For the first thing to show on this new machine, it was not a good choice.
no. I mean,
very
I
strange,
do agree that you wouldn't necessarily know if it's like new Switch or current Switch in terms of
I was
like
gonna,
the
yeah,
graphics.
because
But
that was
hey,
the thing, wasn't it? Everyone was like, "Is that a new Mario Kart or is that DLC?" Or
But then
You
yeah,
also
just
got
look.
people taking little screenshots of Donkey Kong in it, where Donkey Kong looks absolutely dreadful in
That's
the
a
But yeah,
design
because
choice,
because
not
it's
a
like from a
hardware
1080p
limitation.
video, it's just
I think it looks funny.
And it's just
I mean,
people just being like, "Oh, look at the draw distance. That proves it's a new one."
it was
It's
just
like
a
you can
flat
see
plane, wasn't it? I think
exactly.
it's-
It's like who cares?
on it. I mean, it could well be that it's because it's going to be cross-platform, right? So this might end up looking a bit better on Switch 2, but this is probably also running on the original Switch.
well, we
Yeah,
don't know
that
that
would
is cross-platform. Like
I bet it
Obviously-
is.
I don't think it will be because they've got to have something to sell this new machine, and it's
yeah, they have.
Then-
I think you're
and
right.
they've reconfirmed that it's going to that it will play exclusive games for Switch 2. So sorry, Matt.
yeah,
and,
that's my prediction done.
and also physical and digital Nintendo Switch games. But they did say that there will be some games that will not be fully compatible with Switch 2, but then they'll be listing those later.
I mean, it's
yeah,
basically going to be Joy-Con related stuff.
Yeah,
isn't it?
like because the Joy-Cons are different.
Yeah,
They're bigger
so-
now, aren't they? So like Labo, whatever. That
Yeah,
would be it.
and Ring Fit and that
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
in
yeah,
1-2
of
Switch
course,
where
yeah.
you use the IR sensor to pretend you're eating.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem to have an IR sensor, does it?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one used the thing. Right, okay. Can we dig into this because I've not so much to say as stuff.
There's
but
not
I
much to
thought-
dig into, is there?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
and
I
there's,
thought it
sorry,
was-
just for that, there's also going to be a UK event we can get your hands on. Is that the
Yeah,
thing that you
okay,
guys
yeah.
went to last time? I didn't go
not
to.
just
Was
UK,
that-
Matt.
yeah.
I registered for
Yeah,
Berlin.
worldwide.
Yeah,
I
it's
totally
worldwide.
forgot
Yeah.
to register.
I also
totally
forgot,
to
which
register.
is
You
quite
can register
telling
right
in and of
now.
itself, isn't
You
it?
can quite literally now go on the thing. It's a
Okay,
lottery.
Oh, is it
So-
still okay?
register,
Right,
but
I thought it'd be like if
can't.
you can't get in 10 minutes, it'd be like Oasis tickets. Like if you don't
You,
get
you,
in,
you can only basically
Yeah.
choose. You can choose like if it's in I guess UK at least. If it's like Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, Saturday midday, you choose one of them out of the 7, and you win a lottery.
it is during
Um,
Easter here. It would be very fun to take Isaac, but I don't know.
I can't, I just I don't really see the point. It's so similar to the Switch that I mean the idea of playing the Switch early at the event we went to was so exciting because it was such a wild concept at the time, even though it was sort of an extension of the Wii U. It was an exciting thing to go and play. This, you kind of feel like you know what you're getting. So like the sort of excitement sort of goes away. Look, when I say unpack this and I really want to get into this, I do think it's fascinating. I do think this is a really interesting approach to marketing on several levels. The first being that it is so similar to the launch of the Switch that it really does feel like Nintendo are like, okay, we've tried doing new wacky things every generation. It's time to now hone in on what we can do, right? We've been burnt by changing things too much in the past. We are going to extend what we're doing. We're going to follow the formula that we did for the Switch. As we said before, when the Switch launched, they showed off the trailer with no real software announcements. They announced one of these events to play it. Or no, actually, they announced the event after the video game showcase, I think.
Right.
Yeah, last time. So, but there is, I think the most fascinating thing about this reveal was that they opened with the Switch. They opened with a shot of the Switch, the original, not even the LED, the OLED edition. They opened with a shot of that, and you saw the Switch 2 get carved out of this thing. And you go, oh, that's what Nintendo think this is. Nintendo literally think this is the Switch 2. They're not trying anything new. I don't think there'll be anything new. Like that's what the mouse thing doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, it might happen, but I can't see.
I mean,
Well, I think
even if it
innovations
does,
will
it
come from
feels like-
software, not
yeah,
hardware.
it feels like
I
one of
reckon.
those things that Nintendo will use it, and everyone will go, "Oh man, this is actually pretty cool," and then no one else will touch
Maybe
it.
That's what happens.
When you
isn't
say
it,
the
with most of
innovation on
other-
software, Matt, what do you mean?
I know. I just think maybe like the Nintendo. I don't think they can resist having some cool, wacky, innovative ideas. And I think that won't come from the hardware because ultimately we all basically want a more powerful Switch, and it's exactly like that. And there's less risk this way. But I think they'll have some cool features up their sleeves. I mean, there's a C button. People don't know what it means. Is that like a casting? Is it like a because there's already a capture button like which is in the current position. So what's this C button do? Does there anything exciting there? But I think maybe
Where's
maybe
the C?
innovations.
What is this C button you keep talking about? I've
It's
not
below
seen
the
it.
it's below the home button on the
Yeah,
right
it's on the
Joy-Con.
Joy-Con,
Yeah, but isn't that's the same look and shape as the button on the left Joy-Con, isn't it? The
the other one doesn't
capture
have a
button.
C on it. This one does.
Does it have a
So,
C on it? Oh, I
who
see. One's
knows?
sunken circle and the other one's playing.
Yeah, so the capture
okay,
button's still on. Anyway, I mean that could be something, but I think any innovations or changes we'll see, I think they'll come from software, new OS, and
I
maybe
don't
some
think
cool
it will.
features.
I genuinely don't. I genuinely
You think
don't
exactly the
it
same
will.
OS as well?
No,
they'll-
not exactly
they'll
the same
change
OS.
that.
It will be smartened up, but it's not going to be innovative. It's not going to be something special. I genuinely think we're going to get the same run of games. We will get a Mario Kart. We will get a Smash Brothers. We will get.
You think we could get Mario Kart? Where's that come from?
Yeah, we get to that. I think we'll get, but I just think they will follow the formula of the Switch
I mean,
very
it
closely.
makes
that's-
sense. It's
I
less
know,
exciting,
because-
but it makes sense.
You see, to me, this console feels like it's the NES to the Super NES. To me, like that's
I was
what it
gonna
feels
say, yeah,
like.
because like
It's-
people forget that Nintendo do have previous form for doing like safe bet
Yeah.
follow-ups to their successful consoles.
and it makes
like-
total sense to do it this way. Like, I mean, I don't. The reason why like the Wii happened was because previous generations had not gone according to plan, and then then they tried it again with the Wii U, and that was an absolute disaster. Why
Yeah.
would you take something that has been massively successful and then be like, oh, let's turn this on its head. Like, I don't know why you would do that unless you have to.
This is not an economic climate for risk taking.
No, definitely not. And yeah, like the Wii was a monster hit, and then they followed up with that. This is a monster hit. They're like, we're not making that mistake again. Let's just play it safe. Which
one thing that concerns me is that towards the end of the trailer, they made it very clear that you can play your Switch games on the Switch 2, which we already knew.
Yep.
But it does make me think that they're sitting there going, look, there's no rush to get Switch 2 exclusive games out.
Please don't stop buying Switch games.
Well, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's more, well, we don't have to rush games onto the Switch 2 because our line could be, sure, we've only released 2 games in this year, but there are plenty of Switch games that you can play on it, and that concerns me a little. I would love to know if the existing Joy-Cons work on this thing.
Well, I mean, I suppose they might work wirelessly, but then how are you going to charge them?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Like, how do you charge them unless you've got
maybe there'll be
Switch?
Adapters. You know, like is it like the kind of the Wii Sports kind of knockoffs where you put like your Joy-Con in like a tennis racket or something, or even if you have like a slightly larger case, I'm sure they'll do something where maybe you can put the smaller Joy-Con in this and that attaches maybe, but it feels very messy.
It still annoys me that the Joy-Con grip that you put the Joy-Cons in and it becomes a little controller. That like the Nintendo one of that doesn't have a fucking USB socket in it. Like there are unofficial ones that do.
Yeah, no, you're talking about the plastic. Just that it's just plastic, isn't it? That you fit. Well, that looks like what this new Joy, because obviously we're getting a new Joy-Con grip as well. They showed that off. I love the design of it. I love the look of it. I love the fact that it's a lot bigger.
It's quite plain, but
I love the fact that it's on its way. I am very, very disappointed at how long we have to wait until we hear anything else from Nintendo.
See, and this is what's annoying. And the thing that annoyed me the most about this reveal was the fact that it really was just like, look, this is what it looks like. There was no detail. Like, wouldn't it be interesting to know if those Joy-Cons perhaps had better motion sensors in them? You know, like compared with the current Joy-Cons. You know, so you can play better Switch Sports or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it'd be nice to know if that's something which has improved. Or something like that.
That kind of stuff, that gets in the weeds too much. I mean, we might be interested in it, but that's something not Nintendo does. But that would be, if it was like a Sony equivalent, that would be like, that'd be a blog post with the specs and the comparisons.
Yeah. Exactly, but that hasn't even been that.
No. And if there isn't like software, they can't. I mean, I think they made it in conjunction with software. Here's the features that elevate existing and new software, maybe. But
but also, this really demonstrates really interestingly, though, how strong they feel their position is. That they don't actually have to give any indication of why this is better than the Switch at all. Yeah. There's no reason why you would buy one of these based on that trailer, because you don't know what it does. We have no clue still at this stage. We just know what it looks like.
Yeah, we know it's a bigger, better Switch.
You're right, but we know that there's more information coming out before launch. I'm fascinated to know when this does come out, because we're getting, what is it, early April, is it?
Yeah, so it's April 2nd.
So when is it coming out? Is it coming out in April, May?
Well,
June?
no, yeah, because there's that world tour that goes on. Well, they haven't confirmed the last two. I think Taipei is in June, but then there's Hong Kong and there's another one, isn't there? Right. Somewhere in that part of the world, and they're not confirmed yet. But I think maybe June at the absolute earliest. I assume maybe end of June.
I find it wild that they can't just do them at the same fucking time. Why is it? They're not a band.
I assume it's the same batch that's going from venue to venue all the way.
Yeah, but they must be in production now. Get a few more out of the fucking warehouse, Nintendo. Jesus.
Nintendo would be like, but we make them. Why can't we?
yeah.
See, I can't see being earlier in June, but yeah, maybe late June, maybe. One thing I'm disappointed about. This is like such a silly, pointless thing to be disappointed about, but I thought the dock would be smaller. Now, does it really matter? No, but I remember seeing some mock-ups. They're like, hey, if the dock's smaller, maybe you can have like you can see the screen, and more. I might have like screensavers or
like
show game art or notifications, and it's just the same kind of dock where it's like blocking the screen.
I wouldn't like that, Matthew.
No, go on, David.
Well, then, because where would you put the dock? You'd have to have the dock angled so that it's always visible at all time. Whereas I like having mine behind the telly. You just whack it there and play the game, and it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got mine like in a cupboard, like so it's you'd never see it really anyway. But I just thought, the unofficial docks, the ones you get on Amazon for years, they're very small. We can see the whole Switch, and maybe the mock-ups kind of sold me on the idea of seeing your screen and whatnot. But it's quite plain. It's all kind of black. You get like the coloured circles around around the Joy-Cons. That's nice, but I would always like a bit more of a vibrant kind of color scheme.
Don't
But,
worry, there'll be more of those.
I mean, obviously there will
Yes,
be.
you're
Yeah, but
absolutely
I
right.
know, it's, I like I love the OLED. I think the OLED looks awesome in its white. I think the original one, obviously iconic with the blue and red. But this is, hey, it's a bigger, better Switch. So I'm pumped regardless.
Have we all? Obviously, we was all showing our kids the trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't care. My kids.
Did they not?
No.
Yeah, I
Isaac
showed
was
Eddie, and she's like, okay, cool.
See, Asher was
What?
excited,
Yeah.
but he doesn't like the new Joy-Cons. He just says,
Oh, right.
he says they.
What's
he
not
says-
to like about him?
I don't know. He just says they look. He says they look wrong. I don't know what he means by that. But
Look.
You're like, okay, fine. That's one less to buy then, Asher.
What's
Thank you.
What's been really funny is like Isaac's
You've done me a
excited,
favour.
but he's most excited because he was like, oh, so like, is there going to be another Splatoon? I'm like, well, probably, yeah. And he's and he's now really excited, but it's like no, Isaac, the likelihood of there being another Splatoon didn't just change.
No, it's always going to happen. Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, no. So it's fascinating. So he's more excited that like, oh yeah, there's going to be a new Mario Kart. There's probably going to be a new Splatoon, new Mario, etc. The actual console itself, it doesn't really figure into that,
Yeah. And I think we all feel a little bit like that. It's like this is the most boring part of the reveal. Like what we want, a new game.
Well,
we
especially
knew what
because
this was
it
going to
just
be
proved
like.
all the leaks right, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like-
the only reason it's at least that means like I'm no more like, oh, the leaks this, the leaks that. Like, okay, look, we see it now. Like that stuff can go to bed, and we'll just now wait for the actual games because that's what I did it. It's like everyone's sick of like, oh, this leak. Look, here it is.
Yeah.
Like a lumpet. There you go. See you in April for the games.
And I don't want to sound jaded
No,
at
that's not
all.
why
Like,
they
I'm
did it.
excited. I'm gonna get one, but it's just this is like the flattest possible way they could have revealed it, and the fact that it's like months until I'm going to turn 40 before we find out more about the Switch 2. Like,
Yeah, April is.
oh, how
long
terrible
time.
for you!
It's, a couple of things that probably I haven't been reading too many bits and pieces about this, but I thought I'd point out that I'd noticed anyway is that they've got rid of the plastic grill thing at the top, which they did with the OLED. So thankfully we're not going to have that problem that Matt.
No more snapped off bits of plastic.
They've kept the fucking game flap, which really I hate.
I know it's awful, isn't it? That it's terrible design.
But more importantly, there is only one game flap. So whatever the cartridges are for the new Switch or Switch 2, it will be the same as the Switch 1 by the looks of it. They've kept the little rubber feet from the OLED one. They're terrible. They come out quite easily. So I'm a little bit disappointed by that. And also I noticed that they've got a USB-C port at the top.
Which is
I
much
don't-
nicer than... Well, bottom and top, but nicer.
Top,
Like, not having to like just dangle it around beneath it and up again
well,
away
this is it,
to
'cause
where
we don't know
the
if it's
charging
for
pack is.
charging or if it's for like different devices.
Yeah. Oh, are you
So-
still clinging onto the
second
chat-
screen.
Saying, listener
Sean.
and Blue Sky user Nike G linked me to a post where basically someone was like, this lines up with a previous patent that Nintendo did where second screen clicks in the USB-C slot at the top. Just saying.
We'll see. We'll see.
Do you know what would be funny? They did that, but it's only to play backwards compatible DS and 3DS games. It's the only reason.
And I'd probably still fucking buy it. That's the worst part.
Final thing about this trailer is some of the stuff we said last week. I think I was quite happy that we called that it was going to be out later than everyone expected, and I think that rings true here. The one thing that really made me laugh is that we all laughed at the mock-ups of the Nintendo Switch 2 logo being the Switch logo with a 2 next to it, and that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
I'm looking at the thing now, and one thing that I hadn't noticed, at the back there's a third shoulder button.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure.
Does
if
that release the magnets?
I wondered if that if it's like an electromagnet, does that disengage
Right, it
it or
must be.
something? Or it could just be an extra button.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that
look very-
must be, but that looks
doesn't
like
very
something I will accidentally
then.
press a lot because it is a big old button at the back of the thing where I'm putting my
Oh,
fingers.
God, can you imagine there's just loads of footage of people playing on a Switch and it's just like a fucking clown car. Just the fucking Joy-Cons just coming off.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Crash Test dummies, those toys.
yeah.
Oh man, I had the Crash Test Center, mate. I love that shit.
Great. Did you ever watch the show?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
less
it
so
was
good.
rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't very good. I remember my mum walking into it. Like she bought it for Christmas, and I was playing with it. And my mum walked in and went, "You know what the reason for that is, though? Wear your seatbelt." Then she left, and I just thought, well, now I hate these things. Teaching
No,
me a
because
lesson.
if you don't put the seatbelt on them, they like explode.
Yeah,
loads
they
better,
explode. It's really
so-
fun.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's way more fun. Okay, sorry, we've gone on to Crash Test Dummies. Is there
Sorry, it
anything else in the news?
There is some more news. I mean, what also was quite funny was so Hideki Kamiya, who was previously from Clover, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
And
And
other
then-
stuff.
Yeah, and Platinum.
And yeah, he's working on another Akami, I think now at the moment. But he also had some things to say about people that leaked information about the Switch 2. This is what he said. He said, "I hope that all those who leaked Switch 2 information will be cursed for the rest of their lives to have poo on the soles of their shoes whenever they go home. Now that I've been able to enjoy the surprise announcement of the new Akami with everyone else, I think all those damn leakers should be cursed. The scumbag leaker is only acting for his own pleasure and self-satisfaction. Not only is he not benefiting anyone, he's also causing all kinds of opportunity losses, and he's a piece of trash who has nothing to be proud of. He should be covered in shit and thrown out of the atmosphere and then stop thinking and wander around forever. The scumbags are in a position of responsibility where they have access to information that only a very small number of people know about, but all they do is act on their dirty, irrational need for approval. They are the ones who should be blamed, not the manufacturers whose secrets were exposed, and they need to be crushed as soon as possible." So, yeah.
Say what you're really thinking.
He was
come on,
keen.
man.
So
Don't
take your
hold
money,
back.
Jane, and get off of my property.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we rescind our apology to Nate the Hate. I love that. I love that quote. That's just real. That is real. There's not. We are disappointed that our we will be following up.
I
with
can't
legal
get
process.
past. He should be covered in shit and thrown out of the atmosphere, and then stop thinking and wander around forever.
Yeah, that's the best.
I mean, it is
best.
translation, but it's
Yeah.
it's still very good.
No, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
It's funny,
I
isn't
love
it?
that.
We've sort of gone back and forth on Kamiya's shtick. 'Cause, like, do you remember there was the stuff about the Bayonetta 3 stuff about the
Yeah,
voice
the
actor
VO
and
actors
and then it was a bit like, yeah, Kamiya, maybe don't be a prick about this. It's quite a sensitive. Well, I mean, and it went back and forth, and it was complicated. But like, yeah, maybe don't go.
Oh, it's this
inflammatory on
guy.
Twitter and- yeah,
I remember
yeah.
this guy. He was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he would block everyone all the time and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, he always took the joke too far, didn't he?
And it's sort, you get away with it when you were making really good games, but that stopped a while ago. So,
Was he involved in Anarchy Reigns? That's always one
it
that
probably was,
sticks.
yeah. Which was a great game. That was during the golden era, Dave. That was. that was
You're
before
so
the
lucky it was a
setting.
budget title, Sean. So lucky.
I wonder if their servers are still on.
Let's find
I
out.
doubt it.
Okay.
Okay, so next story is that Sony have also now confirmed cancellation of live service projects that were being run by, it was like Bend Studio and Bluepoint Games. So a spokesman has said that they were shut down following a recent review, and they've also reiterated that PlayStation is dedicated to making online and single-player games. And
I'm amazed we didn't have Sean LeBode lined up for this episode. We'll have to cancel it last minute again.
I mean, this was infuriating, wasn't it? Like,
Well, we knew it was coming, right? Like, we knew this was coming because...
yeah, but just the specifics around, like, so if we found out that Bluepoint were working on a God of War game, like service game,
a live service game.
Why a God of War service game? B, Bluepoint, the remake guys. I know everyone's
Yes.
saying this is not an original thought. Bloodborne's right there.
Exactly. Get on that. Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Like, it must be so
A lot of people
frustrating.
They
assume they
did
were making that.
They did Demon Souls, didn't they, as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Which everyone says fantastic.
Very annoying.
And Ben, obviously, since Days of...
Days
what's
Gone.
it? Days gone. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess. Well, this is what they're working on. So Jesus, I mean, not a great time for them.
No.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah. But but yeah, I mean, Jim Ryan left a bit of a mess. It seems
Really did.
behind.
He knew
Yeah.
exactly what he was
Sorry,
doing.
that
didn't he?
sounded like it was a dog that did a wee on the rug. What are you talking about?
Well, no, because he was the one that greenlit like this 25 live service games or
Yeah,
whatever.
this
that's
was his
right,
grand plan.
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he fucked off before
yeah.
it came to
That was a
fruition.
legacy, and they were like,
That was
cancel,
a long
cancel,
time
cancel.
ago, though. That was a long time ago, though, wasn't it?
Well, about a year
I
ago.
do
Yeah, and they've
remember
all been
when they
working on these
announced-
games and cancelled.
I do remember when they announced that they were doing all these live service games. Even then, it was like, really? Because we're kind of over that a little bit now.
And and obviously we assumed the plan was that like, well, not all of these will stick, but we assumed all of them would come out.
Yeah, so they can learn and see what works and what doesn't work.
I
But then
think-
Concord came and went, and
Yeah.
these haven't even come.
I
They
think-
just went.
I think I think that
Yes.
I said from day one that not a lot of these games would come out, and you'll poo-pooed me.
So
If I
it's a
remember
bold
correctly.
Betting on
prediction.
people's livelihood. Then.
Yeah,
That's,
huge. We wouldn't have let you have that one.
I wasn't
I
betting.
mean, and then again, like
Using.
Helldivers. I mean, this is probably harsh, but it feels like that was almost like an accident because Helldivers 1 was so good, and it's like, oh, here's the live service version.
That
whereas
is fucking hard. I would say the studio
but
that worked their bollocks off to
no
get that
one.
out. That is
no,
quite
no,
hard.
no. Okay,
that.
I'll rephrase. No one would have
What's an
expected it.
accident,
No
guys,
one
if
would
you're
have
listening?
expected it to be like the hit it was. Like, and
Yeah,
that
John
was
did.
like their big live service. That was their big live service title. Whereas the teams behind like Naughty Dog making a live service, the Last of Us game, and Bluepoint
That
making a
was
live
always
service.
a bad idea.
Well, no. I mean, I didn't play it, but a lot of people liked the Last of Us multiplayer. That makes more sense than like a God of War live service game.
Do you remember the fucking
I think-
Uncharted multiplayer game? It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So yeah, it's rough, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it's really frustrating that you think like so much resources, so much time and like energy and creative effort has gone into doing this, and we've had a real drought of games that have come from like PlayStation over the last like year or so, and you're just thinking because it was all going into all this stuff, which is all now being cancelled, and it's just it's a shame. But yeah. Next story is that
What is
Microsoft
Sony's next big game? What is Sony's next big one?
is it Wolverine?
Wolverine is Death Stranding 2. Is that console exclusive or is that?
Yeah, but it's not.
I don't know if
Sony
it's
game, is it?
exclusive.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, Ghost of Yotai. That's like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's. I mean that. Yeah, I guess.
And obviously we've seen the next Naughty Dog game, But
Yeah, but that
No,
Naughty
it's
Dog
like-
game is fucking years off.
yeah,
So,
I was away.
yeah,
Sorry,
definitely.
James, go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, what I'm saying is that Ghost of Yotai like is up there with like for me personally like it's not an A tier game, right?
Oh yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
Yeah, I mean, I
just
just played it, you can tell
Just
that.
'cause you don't care about that.
Yeah, just
No,
stuff.
no, no, no,
It's
no.
like-
It's not. No, like it doesn't interest me personally. But would you put it up there with Last of Us, Uncharted, like with the Naughty Dog games, or Spider-Man,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
you'd put it up
totally.
there with those?
I put it up there
Okay.
with Spider. Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima was
Yeah.
excellent. It's
I mean,
really
that's,
good.
Okay,
I
alright.
thought the story was a bit bobbins for the first one, but yeah, like
It was very fun to play though.
very.
It might not have the long, kind of pedigree or many, many years, multiple games. But in terms of quality, it feels like it's right up there, isn't it, with all the big heavy hitters?
Did you play it, Matt?
Nah. Well, no, but yeah, I think you have to play it to see that it's clearly one of their big AAA games, isn't it?
Okay, all right.
Matt hasn't played it, and even he can tell.
Even myself. Yeah.
I thought that game came out to a muted, but not negative, but like a slightly muted response.
I think that was just me initially. That was just me.
Oh, is it?
I was moaning about it.
I need to-
yeah,
I
don't
need
think
to
it
open
starts
my
well,
bubble.
but yeah.
Okay.
Next story: Microsoft are laying off an unknown number of staff, and this is apparently going to come from their, from the gaming division, security, and a bunch of other places. They're getting rid of some more people, but they've said that it's really weird because this is on GamesIndustry.biz, and they said that this is not connected to other cuts that were announced last week that were apparently focused on underperforming workers. But there's this really horrible quote from Microsoft that says, "At Microsoft, we focus on high performance talent. We are always working on helping people learn and grow. When people are not performing, we take appropriate action." which just sounds horrible.
It's business, baby.
That's like
So-
something
Now-
out of Severance.
So they sacked a load of people because they weren't performing, and then a week later they were like, "Oh, by the way, some of you guys who were actually performing, you're also sacked."
Yeah.
I'm what's going on at Microsoft at the moment. I can't, or Xbox at the moment. I can't wrap my head around it.
Wild, isn't it?
I had on my list of predictions, but I didn't do it because we've predicted it every year for the past 3 years. But Phil Spencer goes this year, right?
I had that on
This
my
is
list
the
as
year.
well. But
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have got through. It wouldn't have got accepted.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer's going this year.
I mean,
the whole vision's gone, and we've not heard from him for a while. And I find it fascinating what's going on over there. Awful, obviously. I'm not like shying away from the issue at hand here. Microsoft are laying off an awful number of staff, considering how much money they've got. But it is an indication that they feel less confident about their Xbox division more
I
than
don't
ever.
think it is that. You see, I think what it is, I think what we're seeing a company that is trying to very slowly, by stealth, transition to becoming a third-party publisher without saying that they're a third-party publisher.
By stealth.
Yeah.
This is the worst
No, but-
stealth I've ever seen in my life.
but
Yeah,
like,
I bet you noticed these
without
cuts.
just like suddenly saying we're not selling Xboxes anymore, and stuff like that. They're just
So they're
trying
not
to.
making a new one.
It's just. I mean, are we going to see another Xbox? Do you think?
See, I'm starting to think.
Yeah, I think there'll be
no.
one more. I think
don't
there'll be one
we
more.
will.
For a laugh.
Yeah,
I don't think we will.
this sounds like a bet. I think there'll be one. I think there'll be
I'm
one
not
more.
willing to bet.
But because there was
No,
still
you're
be
not allowed to make a bet. We've said this. You're not allowed to make a bet until you've got a Wookiee on your ass.
do a side of mouse. I'll do it one way. Yeah, no, I'm not taking a bet. But I think there'll be one more generation. But to say there won't be another one, they're probably already midway through working on it.
Xbox? How the fuck do you sell an
There will be
Xbox
enough
in 3
people
years' time?
buying them, not compared to Switch 2 or PS5 numbers, but there'll be enough people buying, I'm sure, to make it worthwhile.
But is there going to be enough developers? It's going to be less. If they sell another Xbox, it's going to be less than what they've sold at the Series X and S.
In terms of kind of sold unit numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And you're already seeing like developers
like-
just like not releasing Xbox versions
Yeah, I was gonna
now.
say,
'cause it's like,
Exactly.
what's the
And,
point?
and developers are going to slowly go, well, what's the point then if the audience is so small?
You've also then got Microsoft just being like, well, we're releasing everything on other machines as well anyway. What's the point?
Like, why would I buy an Xbox next? The reason why I buy an Xbox every
if your mates
generation
aren't
is
buying
because all my-
PlayStations, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's happening at the moment. But it's getting to the point now where it's like I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I'm not spending £450 or between £400 and £600 on an Xbox for the next gen. What is the point? What is the point anymore? There's no need to own one. I can't see how they release another console.
Because I think by that point they probably would have flipped their strategy again, and although they do, maybe they won't. I was going to say, well, maybe they go exclusive. They'll have some things to like sell some hardware, but right now they're not doing that.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, we could be wrong. Maybe they release a console. I'm not 100%.
They will 100% release another console. I'm sure that they're already most of the way through developing
how
it.
You could say 100%. Like I think it's likely that they will.
Because it must be like 3 years away from next generation. 3 years away?
Well,
Less
we're
than
what?
2027, I reckon?
Years, yeah, we're 5 years into this gen, right? Or just gone past 4 years into this gen. I could see maybe another 3 to 4 years, maybe.
But then
There's already been rumours about, pretty strong rumours about like the hardware set of the PS6, like what that's going to have.
I mean,
That's already-
I don't know what Sony's up to. I don't. they've released a console last year. I find the whole thing wild and kind of depressing that they feel that they can at this point, because we've seen nothing on the PS5 that it still feels like this generation hasn't fully started running yet, right?
Yeah. Part of this is because of live service games. I genuinely believe that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons
no,
why this gen has been
I would
crap.
agree.
It's
I'd agree. Yeah. Okay.
Right, so this I need to phrase this politely, but if there was one team within Microsoft, I think probably do need to be to have their performance reviewed. It's the fucking team, right? That when you log in using the Microsoft details anywhere, that second pop-up pops up that says Do you want to stay logged in? That never
Yes.
fucking works. So click it for next time. No, every single time I have to click that fucking button, and it never keeps me logged in. So I think that team, they need to a real good long look at themselves, frankly. Like, what's happening there? You never remember me logged in.
Also, the team that designed the app but won't let you put the fucking codes you get into the app. It says, go to Microsoft.com/redeem.
Why did they rip that out?
I just want to put it in my app. Please.
Who decided that screenshots would still automatically upload to the network, but videos won't? So you have to fucking manually. Oh, I do.
No one decided that because it's automatic.
No, it does automatically do it.
It is on mine.
It's just quite slow.
Got the option. Is it just really fucking slow?
Yeah, so I mean, like, well, for me, I'm like
5 to 10 mins.
Yeah, but you got to like keep the Xbox on. Sometimes I've like take some like screenshots of videos, turn the Xbox off, like fuck, it didn't actually upload. Turn it back on, get it on the system.
But I'm assuming they deprioritize that stuff because you're playing an online game while you're doing it, or you're using something.
I know, but I've tried like closing the game and stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, it's gonna do it any second. No, I'll just do it myself.
Oh, okay. Okay. It does it pretty regularly for me. I don't have a problem with that.
Mind you, I've got super ultra fast broadband now. Maybe
maybe you'll notice the difference. Yeah. Look, I think if I was to put money on it, I would say that they are probably releasing a new console.
You changed it.
I cannot wait to see how they sell it. Like, I don't know how you sell an Xbox at this point.
The most powerful Xbox ever.
Well, but
obviously. No one cares. That console was Series X is technically more powerful than PS5. It means nothing if you haven't got the software to show it.
Yeah, and now no exclusive software to show it.
Tell you what, though, if there is another one, there is not going to be another Series S, Series X thing. I don't think.
No, because that would make developers even less likely to develop for Xbox.
Because it's funny, isn't it? Because
crazy.
The S has outsold the X, as we know. So part of you thinks, oh well, they'd be crazy not to do another S and X split. But then maybe they looking at it, be like, yeah, but how many of those S owners would have stretched to an X if they had no choice?
Yeah, was it really an upsell? And maybe not.
That's the thing. I definitely would have got an X if the Series S didn't exist. And it's just I got it because it was cheap, and and it's
still
fine.
blows away. You haven't got an X. Still blows away.
We are now at the point.
What am I going to play on it, Matt?
Now. Who know?
We're now at that point. Like, so Monster Hunter Wilds is out in a couple of months. No, next month. Fuck. And that's like having seen how it runs. I mean, and this was the beta, public beta. Seeing how it was running on the X, like I don't even want to see it on an S. Like it was yeah. Beyond now.
I still think it's a much better console for online gaming. I do. I just think it feels better. The friends list stuff works better in my opinion. I just prefer it as an online gaming machine, and for some reason the voice stuff works better on that for me. Every time I've used the voice stuff on PlayStation, it feels like you're going. It feels like you're using the in-game voice channel. I mean, they've always been everything's slightly off. It doesn't really work nicely.
They've always been so much better at the online gaming experience, like on Xbox. Like, absolutely, it always has been like that, and it's always been so much more seamless and just sort of more stable as well. It's always felt
integrated, more stable. So I will miss that side of the Xbox when it finally goes. But yeah, I don't know.
You've got at least one more console generation. At least one more, I reckon.
We'll see.
Nah.
Next story.
And so you don't think there'll be another console, Sean? But at this point, there must be like 8. They must have developed most of it at this point, and they're going to scrap it.
That's true, considering how
that's what
far
I
in
think.
advance.
There'll be one.
I reckon there was a point where like they were gonna do like a Pro and a new Xbox, and I reckon at some point someone was like, no, you pick one or the other.
Screw that,
But also, what was interesting about that, don't you remember there was all those leaks that came out about how there was going to be other versions, were coming, and how that all seems to now have been scrapped. This is why I think it may not happen, because I reckon Nadella has decided that this is done, actually, and that there's now the transition into just games instead, because that's where the money is. Like, the money is in that, not in hardware. So why would you do that?
And they're now one of the biggest publishers on the face of the planet.
Exactly.
So, that's what they're going to focus on.
Why would you want?
Right.
why would you want all this like hardware like lagging you? That looks bad. It looks bad for you, with all this stuff.
Proper lagging you. Can
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
write
proper
lagging
lagging
you
you.
down?
Lagging you behind the competition. Anyway,
Phil Jupiter.
If you'd let him finish, Dave.
I did let him finish. He abandoned that sentence. That's what made
I
it
did
so good.
abandon it as it was going, and
It always weirds me out that you use a back scratcher. It always fucking weirds me out that
Quite
you
funny.
do
it's
that
not a back
as
scratcher. It's a
regular thing.
ruler.
I know, but you use it to scratch your
Rocket
back.
on it.
It's
To be fair, I
Really
could
weird.
use one of those. I'm now at that point where mobility is becoming limited. That there are spots I can't reach.
Really?
Yeah. it's
Okay,
probably-
let's move
Next
on.
bit
Let's
of
move on.
news,
Let's move on. This is
James.
So Shuhei Yoshida has been talking about all sorts of things recently. Now that he's no longer at
He's on the
Sony,
outside, yeah.
and he revealed a whole bunch of information about the Vita, which was quite interesting. He gave reasons why he felt that the Vita failed. Shall I give you the reasons?
Please.
So one of the reasons was the proprietary memory cards. He
Yep.
said this was a mistake
Yeah.
and that
Could've
people
told
had
you that.
spend more money. He said back touch was not necessary.
No, it wasn't.
It really
Fuck me,
wasn't.
I forgot about that. Wow.
And
Yeah,
what
it
was-
was used by Tearaway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wonder what else used it. Maybe a Metal Gear Solid game. I bet that did.
Probably, yeah.
What was really funny about that was that in the interview, like he kind of says like back touch was like one of those things where they thought it looked cool and interesting and kind of got carried away with like what could happen, but then it was actually pointless and it didn't happen. It was no good. Also, they said the OLED screen in the original version like increased the production cost like considerably for each of the unit. But then also the most important, interesting thing was that originally it had like the ability to output to screens as well. So that it could have been like a Switch, basically. But then
Because
this
we
was
got that.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda PlayStation. You didn't fucking do it. So
What
don't
was
give
it
it all the
called?
yeah,
There was-
blah, blah, blah.
There was the Vita that didn't have a screen. It was just, it was just a little box and you could plug it into.
it
your
was the
television.
Vita TV, like kind of thing.
yeah.
which
Yeah.
was-
Which not a terrible idea, but yeah, suddenly it made you think like, oh yeah, they could have just had a Vita with a HDMI port on it.
And this is what he said. He said it was a really bad idea. The development team removed that feature just to save a few cents of cost, and so that it wouldn't have cost much. And then he said, I think the biggest reason Vita didn't do as well as we had hoped was that we had to spread all our efforts and resources into two platforms, and we didn't have the resources to do that. And it's similar to what Nintendo have done with the Switch, where they basically were like, okay, yeah, we can't really have two platforms anymore. We need to just focus on one. But then also, the other thing that he talked about was the live service games and stuff at Sony.
Oh shit!
And then he said,
Jim Ryan is a fuckhead.
he also
dickhead.
basically said that he would have resisted the move towards live service games had he been in the position of CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. So it's that's quite interesting. But yeah, and then the final news story connected to this is that he was interviewed on Kind of Funny, and they asked him about the PSVR 2, sort of what happened there, and then he just said, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. PSVR 2 didn't become PS2 in the sense of it didn't build on the momentum from the first one and then become something like even bigger." And then like Greg Miller tried to ask him like what had happened, and then he just laughed and responded, "Let's move on with the conversation."
Wow.
And that was it. But he did say that he really liked Synapse and Before Your Eyes, that they were two good games, which I could confirm they were two good PSVR 2 games. But it's a shame because it didn't work out. I think they thought that it may do.
No.
But what's wild is that we all thought it was. Everyone saw it except for them. What?
Yeah.
Maybe they were too far into it.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've always spent the money on development costs and production and all that kind of stuff at that point. It felt like a mad time to release it and for the price, given the kind of the economic stability of the planet. But hey, they'd already spent the money at that point, so get it out and see what happens. But
They still should have done like David. Your idea, I think, was much better to like have like a standalone unit that had played like
compared to
PS1.
the MetaQuest.
Yeah, basically that. That would have been.
They could have had their own integrated system where you could play PS1 games to play in like a big screen or whatever. They could have done all of that shit. And if they'd have played it right, they could have had stuff coming out the screen and making it 3D. You could play like a PS1, PS2 game, but it's 3D in this like in front of you. There's so much they could have done with a standalone PlayStation VR headset.
Yeah, maybe something that's not as powerful as the current one that they've released, but something kind of in between that and like
it
Quest or
shouldn't
something
be.
like that.
It shouldn't be. It should be priced at around £250 to £300. But that's the price point. That is the price point. And they missed it. And not only did you have to pay way more than that, almost double that, you also had to own a £450 games console to play it. Is wild to me. It was dead in the water. Really strange decision made with the PSVR 2. But so this is kind of the end of it, is it? Do you reckon?
I don't know if it's the end of it, but I mean, because it's still getting third-party support. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think Sony care about it at all anymore. I don't think we're going to see any more like first-party games that come out.
No.
On this.
I think you're right. Okay, is that it for the news?
That is it for the news. That's it.
Good. Let's get to what you've been playing, and Sean will start this week because he's the only one that's played a brand new game.
The first
go on, Sean.
big AAA release of the year, boys. It's Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Let's go.
This is a strange one, right? Because, I've got criticisms, and I'll get to those in a minute. But I will say, more than ever, I feel like for years I would defend this series and be like, no, it's sort of strategic once you get into it. No, it's not just button bashing. Shut up. Everyone stop being mean about one of my favorite games. Playing this one, I'm just like anyone who doesn't think this is fun, fuck off. I just don't give a shit anymore.
Is that old age sneaking in though? Because I'm thinking that about a lot of things.
Like it or lump it.
Yeah. You don't get it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I talked about the demo a couple of months ago. So a lot of that still applies. What is interesting is so in the demo there was all this stuff there's different weapon types you can choose from. There's different you can set you play as this nothing character, right? They can play an original character. For those who aren't aware, the Dynasty Warriors games are set in this period of Chinese history, and they're weirdly historically accurate in some ways, but also absolutely not in loads of others. But the point is, you were always playing as these famous generals, right? In these armies, whereas now this is no, you're a new guy who no one knows their name and doesn't have any memories and it's usual shit. But you could choose another officer to be with you, right? And in the demo, and you can switch between them and stuff. That's in the full game, but not for a while, and you very slowly unlock those other officers, which is a strange choice because if you're a fan of the series, you've got some favourites that you're looking forward to playing as, probably, right?
Right.
But good luck with that because you're probably not going to see them for 20 hours. What is really strange is, I joked, Dave, about because they're calling this Dynasty Warriors Origins, and it's well, what does that mean? Because every Dynasty Warriors game does the same story because it's based on Romance of the Three Kingdoms. So it's always Mission 1, the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Yeah, all right, but every single. But this one, the Yellow Turban Rebellion is about 5 to 10 hours of gameplay. They do really flesh it out. I'm not saying the story is good, because it's not, but I was surprised how much they managed to wring out of this one thing that's usually look, this is the first mission, this is where the three sort of main armies are all sort of fighting together, winning the Emperor's favour, and then it all sort of goes to shit and they all start fighting against each other. But with this, it's this whole thing. It's no, who were the Yellow Turbans? What were they fighting for? Why did they form? They had some good ideals to begin with, but then basically turned into a gang of thugs. Or at least that's how the game paints it. No idea how accurate that is. At a glance, it feels a lot like, there were these rebels that, were pissed off that everyone was starving, and then they just got put down by, the government. So now we write that actually they weren't goodies, so don't think about it too much. Whatever. Anyway, so I was just really surprised. It's oh shit, the Yellow Turbans are this whole thing rather than just being a bit of a running joke, if anything. But it is really weird the way as I say, you have this character who's an original character, but it's all the worst things in that they never speak. But also you can change their name, but you can't change what they look like. It's literally just this one set appearance. They've got no memory, but the backstory just appears to be, you're just really tough, and you're part of this this, like the Guardians of Peace, they refer to themselves as. It's like, okay, I just turn up and win every fight. That's my character. That's my thing. But the fights themselves are fucking stunning. Like the battles are just incredible in this. Like I love it so much. It's like they fleshed out the actual fights with other generals, right? So most of the time you're just cutting your way through these like huge armies of guys who are pretty stupid, but like you do have to be careful. If you're fighting another general and you've not cleared out a lot of the soldiers around them first, like they will start attacking you and really knocking you off, or knocking you off balance. Like, sorry, start wanking you off. And
thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, use the wrong word. Yeah, the fights with the other generals are really where it's at. And especially when there are several of them and you are like, you have to parry the hits and you have to watch out for when they're charging up like an unblockable move, because you can use this palm strike ability that then will always interrupt like an unblockable attack, which when you're fighting against one general is fine and totally manageable, but then there might be 2 or 3 and you're sort of watching for some that are like just off screen and you'll see like a flash and you're like, shit, he's charging up a big attack, fucking palm strike him, and then you do like a cool counter move, and then that counter move might also hit the other generals you're fighting, so that's like worth bearing in mind. It's like, well shit, if I can parry this guy and then sort of run around to this side and then hit him, and then that big attack will hit all 3 of these just constant little decisions like that you're making. And then they do these like grand strategies where you'll be in this huge battle and they'll be like, right, the enemy's trying to do something, like they're trying to launch fucking fireballs at you or something, and it's like, to disrupt them you have to defeat like 2 generals or 300 normal soldiers or whatever. So then you're like, shit, and it's just this constant switching up of like priorities, and you have to pay attention to what's going on the field. This has always been a thing in the series, but I just feel like, I don't know if it's just better communicated now or what, but it feels like you're constant, right, shit, now this guy's in trouble, I'm going to rush over to this bit of the map, and then now he's in trouble, now to take this base, now I need to do this. And it's not, like, you cannot just fall into, like, oh, well, I'll just fight the guys in front of me and move forwards, I guess. Yeah, I fucking love it. I think it unlocks things way too slowly. I think it's bad that they have this, like, you know, silent main character amnesiac who you can't customize in any way other than changing the name, which no one says their name out loud. Like, it's like so it's that thing where the name is in the dialogue, but then obviously the voice actors don't actually say it. And just like, well, why? Just give them a fucking name. I don't care that I got to rename this character. I've no attachment to it anyway. It's just some guy. So that's a very weird decision, and it feels potentially quite cynical. You know, with Dynasty Warriors, they do the thing where they'll put a new Dynasty Warriors out, and then they'll put out the same game again, but it'll be Empires Edition or XL, which stands for Extreme Legends.
No, that's us.
Yeah, and that's when there'll be other features. So it's like, right, so did they sort of go, oh, well, we could let you make a custom character, but maybe we just keep that to one side for
save that for
the re-release.
XL edition.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do like the idea though. There's all that these historical like Chinese characters, and then there's just somebody called Sean. You know, like just.
Well, this is it, because the default name is Wanderer, and I was like, well, I'm just going to keep that, because if I name it after myself, it's just going to look stupid. I mean, Wanderer isn't much better, but yeah, enjoying the hell out of it. Just some weird decisions in terms of the structure of it and stuff. But it has been an absolute joy. It'll probably be cheap soon, so. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, while you're talking about it, I was like, do you know what? I'm not really playing anything at the moment. I need something to pull me out of my current loop. And I thought maybe this is it. And the kids would love watching it, because presumably it's all right for the kids to watch, because there's thousands of characters on screen. You're just battering them all. It's like, it's always been a fun game to look at. 50 quid just seems a bit much for it.
Well, I split, yeah, because, you know, I game share on the Xbox, so I split it.
Right, and that's not fair, because, you know, obviously it had a big development or whatever. It must have, like, for it to run the way it does.
It runs great, and it does. I mean, it it's the best Dynasty Warriors has ever looked, which isn't saying a lot. Like I think it looks pretty great considering the amount of stuff that's going on screen at any one time, and it doesn't.
But for me personally, that's an expensive risk.
Yeah.
Right, 50 quid.
Yeah.
So you reckon it will come down in price pretty soon?
I reckon, yeah, because it's like, saying about saving stuff for the next, release or whatever. It's literally, as far as I can tell, it's literally just the campaign mode. There's no, like, usually there'd be like campaign, but then there'd be like a skirmish mode, or they do like the Empires mode, where it's like you're choosing like which territories to invade next, and you're trying to sort of expand across China. Often, there has been like online stuff in the past or split screen stuff. None of that in this. So yeah, it's. I understand that by calling it Dynasty Warriors Origins, they've clearly gone right. Let's go back to basics. Let's sort of retool the way the fighting works, and then we'll sort of go from there. And I think they have done that very successfully. But it is lacking so much stuff you would expect from a Dynasty Warriors game otherwise.
Would those things not come as updates? You think they would almost
Maybe
saved for another release?
Yeah, I mean the way, like I say, the way they've done it before is like it's just like here's a new release of the same game but with more stuff, which I'm usually happy to replay. But then it's like, guys, we have DLC now. Maybe do it that way instead.
Stop charging me again.
Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, fundamentally, like if this is the direction Dynasty Warriors is in now, I'm all right with it. Just it's just lacking stuff that I would have liked to see in it.
Okay, fair enough. That's all you've been playing this week, is it?
It's all I've been playing this week. Yeah.
I played something new that was released this week. I played the Elvis Vegas Walkabout mini golf course. I played this was it last night or the night before? I can't remember. We are huge fans of Walkabout mini golf over here. It's a tough one to talk about the way that I'm going to talk about, because for $2.99 it is essential and you should buy it, because fucking hell, I cannot believe all the DLC for this is $2.99. But what I will say is that it doesn't hit the bar they've set for themselves at all. In fact, it's the first one that we've bought, a new one that we played and gone, oh, this feels a real step down in quality and everything over the previous one. Like when you played 8-bit Lair, it's like holy shit. Or Upside Town, you go like even some of the like the ones like the Journey to the Center of the Universe stuff, and even
Around the World in 80 days.
Venice,
that was great.
Venice, have you tried the Venice level? Absolutely incredible to look at. And part of it is like it blowing your mind how detailed everything is. So in the Wallace and Gromit level, you press the button to float you over the top of the level to see the scorecard, but then see the amount of detail and how much of a sense of place it's got. For, like, considering you're in Wallace's house, you know what I mean? Like, it's quite wild how detailed it is. The Vegas one, you do that and you're floating in space and seeing the holes like all in front of you, and it's got a few neat tricks here and there, but not enough to make me think, oh, that's why this is completely separate. And you don't. I was expected like to press the button and see like the Vegas Strip or something like that, and be like, whoa, holy shit. That this isn't up there with the others, and yeah, I'm disappointed by that. But these are $2.99, and I'm surprised that not all of them are like this. I'm just a little bit disappointed that I don't think they quite hit the level. And I'm not an Elvis fan, so half of the stuff I was like, Heartbreak Hotel. Okay,
for me, there's no sort of attachment there either. So
for me, we just love playing Walkabout mini golf, and we did the course, and we just went, I don't know if we'll go back to that one, to be honest. Whereas like the fucking Wallace and Gromit one, we've done about 40 times. And we've still got a bunch of courses that we've not played through yet, so we'll be doing that. But I'll just be honest about my reaction to it. We talk up that game all the time. We love it, but I was a little bit disappointed by the Vegas. As I said, it's got a few Easter eggs. You're not doing it then, Sean? No.
I probably will, but
okay, I won't.
But only like, just in that it's a new Walkabout mini golf course. I'm not like, oh fuck yeah, Vegas. Like,
yeah, I
no
figured that we haven't done the Mist course yet. and I've got no association with Myst.
Okay.
So I don't, we probably will miss half that. Like, I mean, when you play the Labyrinth one, and every aspect of that course is from that film, and you think, wow, the amount of effort that's gone into this. Whereas this one, I don't know. I hope the quality doesn't dip, but I kind of understand if it does. If it's $2.99 a fucking course, it's wild. But long may Walkabout mini golf continue, because I could play this stuff forever. We fucking love it. Me and my mates just love it.
I might have said this when I talked about it the other week, but like when I was playing the Christmas course, I was just like, it kills me that I don't think there's any way to get this into our Game of the Year show. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played. Like, it might. I think
Walkabout mini golf.
Yeah, I think it might be all-time top 10 stuff.
It's up there.
Yeah,
it is up there. I said there are two. I mean, I bought that fucking headset, and there's only 2 games I play on it: the Vegas Infinite and this thing, Walkabout Mini Golf. Like, if you've got a VR headset, any VR headset, then Walkabout Mini Golf should be top of your list.
Absolutely essential. Yeah.
We had people over at Christmas, and I just said, you got to do the Wallace. We watched Wallace and Gromit over the week. We'll put this on and look at this. And they were like, what the fuck? This is like,
they're swearing.
Yeah, they were in my household.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, really good game. I just a little bit disappointed with the latest DLC. I'm looking forward to their next DLC anyway, regardless. I'm also still just on Call of Duty all the time. I find it wild how this one has like hit me and the others haven't. Like, I've prestige twice now. I'm loving every second of it. I've got a rule now where I don't usually go to bed until I play it until I've won a game. And you have moment to moment in that multiplayer. It's so fucking good. And I'll probably get the next. I think the next season's next week. I'll probably get the pass again, because it was £8. And I don't know. I didn't pay for the game. So,
but is that not a game where you earn enough currency in game to buy it without?
Probably,
or do you have to...
but fuck me, the bar is so much higher. I mean,
even with the amount you've played, surely if there is an in-game currency that could...
No.
Okay.
With Rocket, I'm not even close. Well,
that's what made Fortnite's Battle Pass so good, because if you did basically enough of the challenges, they kind of kept paying for itself. But
Rocket League, I think I've paid for 2 Rocket League passes, because I would always make the money to buy the next one. Although it is funny with the boys, when you turn around and go, right, I'm buying you the Fortnite pass, Battle Pass, right? Don't spend your Fortnite coins or whatever. Don't spend them, because, and then a couple of months later, can we get the new Fortnite Battle Pass? Did you save your thing? No. You spent it all on shit, did you? Good. Okay, fine. So that's becoming a regular thing in this house. But no, I mean, I'm relentlessly loving Call of Duty. Like, honestly, it's not getting boring at all. I just, what a fucking game. I just wish I wasn't the only one that thought that at this point, because it is quite sad playing it on my own. But I'll do it. I'll do it if I need to do it. I'll do it.
Is there no one in your usual group playing it anymore?
Not anymore. Jay'll play every now and then. And actually, Nick, Matt.
Yeah.
He's started playing it a little bit more. So we've been playing it a little bit.
I guess because Chris is busy. I guess he isn't around, is he?
I wouldn't want to play with Chris anymore anyway. Our mate Chris is just way better than all games than us. So whenever I play with him, we're putting much worse servers. It's like really horrible. But I stopped listening to this pod, so it's fine. He wouldn't have heard that. That's what I've been playing, Matt.
Yeah, I basically played and finished episodes 3 and 4 of Life is Strange Double Exposure. Obviously, this time last week, I just finished Final Fantasies. I hadn't played this, but you guys had talked about it last week. And yeah, I think 3 is better, but I wouldn't say I'm so back in. I mean, it's fine. I'm enjoying it.
You do realise that's because you didn't work out what the twist was.
Well, I've never been one of those people to really take a step back. I'll just get carried along with the story. Maybe I should have actually done that. Anyway,
it was funny, listeners. We just did our spoiler cast, and there's a bit of a twist or a nod towards a twist at the end of the episode. And Sean said, oh, you do realise what that means, right? And James went, yep, yep. And I was like, and me and Matt were like, no. And then all of a sudden I went, it's just clicked. Of course, this, and this. And Matt went, no.
No. I was like, oh yeah. No, yeah. But I've done 4. 4's even shorter than 3. It's 90 minutes, I think, max.
It was
Is it
very-
good though? Are you still in or?
I'm still in. Yeah, I
drop
mean,
off?
it's an interest.
James?
You
I
played,
mean,
haven't you, James?
I've done it as well. Yeah, I've done episode 4.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, no.
it's basically it's exposition. The episode, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
all
Right.
exposition.
It's
I'm
nice.
all right with that though, because I feel like episode 3 was better for not really having any puzzles in it.
The,
Yes.
the
Well,
problem, the
you-
problem so far, if I can say this, is that remember episode 1 and episode 2, how they were very long, and there was a lot of things sort of happened in those, and then you're just think at this stage now, I'm just thinking, not sure what the point of most of that was at this point. You know, like it's,
I think it was just setting up characters though, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there was more to do in 1 and 2, and 3. You know, some reveals, and obviously we'd just done the spoiler cast. But playing 4, it's like, well, this is like I've just listened to a spoiler cast.
It becomes
like,
a lot
hey.
more sort of like laser focused, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
Like on
Yeah.
just on on things. But
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Well,
hey,
I'm not against that. I'm not against that. I was a little bit sick of trying to find a skull and trying to work out who fucking threw. Who cares? Okay, cool. Life is Strange. That's all you've been playing this week.
Yeah, done that. Yeah.
Good, James Farley.
Yeah, so I went back to and finished Black Ops 6, the campaign, because
Just
you know-
spoke about Call of Duty, so you could have. Bought
well,
it
I was
then, couldn't
I thought you were going to hand over to me before you went to Matt, but you didn't. And as the
I mean,
show
to be fair,
host,
the campaign might as well be a different game.
you? Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Different
Okay,
developer, different tone.
yeah.
Weird, isn't
So-
it? James?
So yeah, James, just to confirm, you think they could have done better on
definitely.
transition?
I thought we
a
could have done
segue,
because
yeah.
I was looking at the show notes and I'm just like, why didn't he do that? Why did he just go to Matt?
It was
all
right
like
there. It was
ready.
right there in front of him, wasn't it,
Yeah.
James? He just didn't. He just decided, no, I'm not going to segue from
I
COD to COD.
think that's fair. I think that's fair. I should have picked up on that. Yeah, I didn't put that together. Okay,
That's a shame.
But yeah, but in general, I mean, I generally enjoyed the campaign.
that's killed
and-
your fucking buzz, isn't it, Matt? Look at you, you
no,
little smug
no,
little face.
hasn't actually. Hasn't.
I went along
No.
agreed with it, and look at you,
Well,
you were
I
absolutely
think-
gutted there, aren't you?
No, I just think it's worth it.
Well, you maybe shouldn't think, Matt.
Well, maybe I should
Yeah,
think.
less of that.
Oh yeah. good point.
But okay, so going back to this, like, I'd agree with you, David, that I don't think this is as good as former other Black Ops campaigns at all. But it's still good fun. It was still generally good fun.
We had an argument about this offline last night, didn't we? Off pod. Sean went, yes, it is. What are you talking about? And I went, which ones have you played, Sean? And you went, none of them.
I played the first Black Ops. I remember
The one with the numbers.
the numbers mason. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And then he
remember that.
killed JFK.
It
Possibly.
was a long time ago,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, no, I just look. I thought it was good. I thought it was decent. But there was some weird stuff. My favourite being, and I'll try and when a character is lots of zombies running after you,
Yeah.
and it's kind of freaky because it's one character, lots of them running after you. But when they get close, they go, yeah. It kind of completely destroys the
See,
atmosphere.
I
that,
didn't
did we?
enjoy
That
any of
bit's
those bits.
insane.
I didn't enjoy any of those bits that much because it just felt like, oh, we can use the zombies models for this bit, and like it just
I
felt.
don't know.
But
No, I didn't. The reason I didn't like it is, I mean, okay, the psychological stuff. I think I wanted something a bit more nuanced, but maybe that's asking too much
I mean,
for like
yeah,
a COD
come on.
campaign.
It's
Yeah,
Call
that
of
they were going to
Duty.
do something like that. It's like, oh look, it's a big monster. You know, it's like it just I don't know. After playing stuff like Alan Wake 2 and stuff like that, it just felt a bit
Yeah,
like a bit cheap, like the whole thing. But the open world level, I thought was really interesting. You know, with the whole
Yeah,
the
that was
huge-
cool.
Turns
Yeah,
out,
that-
it turns out you can do Far Cry in an hour. Like it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
nicely done.
totally.
Yeah,
totally,
it's really well done. Yeah.
But on the other hand, I wouldn't want them. I'm hoping they're not just going to go fully in that direction though, because I do quite like the sort of more sort of set PC levels that are sort of more fun.
Sure.
You know?
But there are games that can do both, right? Like,
Yeah,
I
well-
think a really good example of that, and we are going to another extreme, is Elden Ring. How that can fill like it will have very linear Dark Souls style levels within a massive open world game like Elden Ring.
But yeah,
Sorry, Windy Pops. So it's possible.
yeah. I mean, allegedly, like that campaign is apparently just essentially a bunch of ideas that Raven had been kicking around for years, and in case they got to make another game. And yeah, they sort of threw it all into this, which is why it's so strange, and like every mission just feels like a completely different tone or whatever.
Yeah, it's a strange game.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
In general, I thought it was good. But then the other thing I've been mostly playing over the weekend was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because I went back to this and I'm still not entirely sure what to make of it, honestly. It's like, on the one hand, I love the environments. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Like the whole, like Troy Baker, absolutely amazing. Like the performances are so good. And I do love picking up all the details and the puzzles and that kind of stuff. But navigation in the game never feels great. I don't think it's very functional, and it gets you where you need to go, but it doesn't feel good. But then also, I was thinking about this actually when I was playing this yesterday. Like the whole, like like when you're like climbing up stuff and all that, it's all kind of clunky. But then maybe that works for the character, because this is a character who is like he's not a superhuman. Is the idea?
You're supposed to feel knackered climbing around,
and you get that impression from it, like you really do, which is kind of good. But I understand also like the stealth stuff fits in, like it does fit in with the films. Like that is how things kind of played out in the films as well. There was a lot of sneaking around, trying to avoid people and stuff like that. But it also gets quite old in the game, in the sense that I really don't like the fact that there's so many like zones. It's like you go in there and then it's just like, okay, if you get spotted, you're done or whatever.
Yeah, and you got like a second level of disguise to walk a bit more freely, but even then, that's not perfect.
And it's like, it feels like an Indiana Jones game, which is amazing. Like it feels like that, but I just haven't found it to be extremely fun to play. I'm enjoying it, but it's not amazing, I don't think. And this is what is weird about this. I think I had more fun with Star Wars Outlaws than I did with this.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
No, really, I think I did.
Wow.
That was more fun. Like that was more fun to navigate the environment and stuff like that than this has been. But
now that was a game, guys. Yeah.
But I'm not saying this is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still enjoying it. Still like into it. It's just the choices they've made for very, very good design reasons also make the game a bit less fun to play, I think. And I was also surprised.
I do still massively respect. Like I bounced off of that game, but I do still massively respect it for what it did. How it didn't go down the obvious third-person style, quite linear, lots of objective markers. I love the fact that, I think it was you described it as an immersive sim, Sean, and
kind of,
yeah, it's really what it is. It's I respect what it did. I can see why people love it. It wasn't really for me, but yeah, I mean, a gorgeous looking game, and definitely one that Xbox can hold up and say, hey, no, actually, we have made a good game.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
Even though I didn't really truly love it myself. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I've really liked it, but just not loved it. Like it's good, and I'd love it if there was more of these, because it is absolutely true that these are better than any of the films that have come out since Last Crusade. Like definitely, like it's definitely more interesting than any of those.
What area are you in now? Do you know, if you don't want? I'm
in the the jungle area with the boat, which is also a bit annoying. But because I don't like getting around on that.
Yeah, there's a couple of bits where I was like, okay, how do I even get to one of these objectives? I can see it on the map, but I'm like, well, there's blockage there, and I guess I'd go through the woods, through the forest, but that wasn't 100% clear. I mean, I was by the end just fast traveling a lot, because if you go to a dock, you just go to the sign, you click it, bang, you're already there. So rather than navigating a lot of the areas, I was just fast traveling areas I've already been to. But it's gorgeous location.
Am I near the end, Matt?
I think you're like 2/3 or 3/4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good. I'll finish it, and it's good.
Okay, and that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get to your questions before we leave you.
Can I just go to the toilet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, I need to wait, and also I think I can hear Isaac shuffling around upstairs again. So be as quick as I can.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Watching
every day I'm shuffling.
Every day.
I've got a question. Just come to me when I heard shuffling. Obviously, is GTA 4, wasn't it? That had all the stand-ups like Gervais and maybe like Chappelle and
Cat
stuff.
Williams.
Was that in
Chappelle
GTA
wasn't
5?
it, I think.
What was it? Was it not? Okay, right. Was that in GTA 5?
No, they didn't have stand-ups in GTA 5, I don't
No.
think.
Just wonder if they were like leaning back into like the celebrity angle that because I knew it was in 4, but yeah, I wonder if they'll do that or any
No,
risk
I think it's going to
associated.
be podcasts. That's where you'll get your celebrities, I think.
You reckon? Like what? Like Joe Rogan actually in the game? Like actual
Wouldn't
podcasters,
surprise-
you mean?
Yeah, no, they'd be more likely to mimic Joe Rogan, right, and take the piss out of him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the kind of thing they've done in the past, haven't they? But yeah, because that was such a big thing. But then the worry is, I think what was no, I don't think Louis C.K. was in it, but like the worry is, you have a celebrity in it. And it's like, you know, if there's like a scandal, then there's a whole lot of work to get rid of him.
Does it come out this year?
I don't think so. No.
Did they delay GTA 5?
I
Was
think
GTA
so.
5
But I mean,
delayed?
like, you know, like Valve, like they're one of the few companies, like, you know, it means more just to make sure it launches in a decent state than rush it out for shareholders. Like they've got the
Development
cash
of
cow
Grand Theft
GTA
Auto
Online.
5.
I reckon it'd be. I mean, they've always said it's gonna be like Q4 this year. It's not gonna take much for it to slip to next year. And I think everyone would rather that one. We would all rather a much better GTA game on launch than like, oh Jesus Christ, it's no one wants a disaster.
2009, GTA 5. What's the next game in the series? So that's it. We're not going to announce anything. Blah 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 blah. Rumors it was coming out in 2024. Rockstar Game first announced the game's existence in October 2011. In an announcement on its official website and Twitter feed, Take-Two's share price subsequently increased by 7%. Jesus. So the game did not meet its original projected March-May 2013 release date. By October 30th, 2012, promotional posters spread on the internet, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a this year thing. And again, we'd all rather it was good and delayed than rushed. And
The game was released in Japan 10th of October, 2014. The re-release of the game was announced. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so they did delay it. Yeah, on January 2013, 31st of January 2013, the company announced that the release date had been postponed until the 17th of September that year. Yeah, it did shift.
yeah, so we don't have a release date. I think in financials they said Q4 or end of the year. So I think, hey, you know,
Yeah, I don't think it's
chances
gonna
are
make this
it'll
year
be-
either. I think we get a trailer in the next couple of months though.
I think we get a trailer this year. Yeah, another trailer.
Yeah, no, I think we'll get a second trailer within the next couple of months. I think another stylized one, and then
That'd be cool.
it won't be till the end of the year before we start getting the. In GTA 6, you can walk down, you can pull down your pants and shit wherever you want. I was thinking, we'll talk about Severance tomorrow.
I need to. So have you watched it already?
Yeah,
Is it?
Fucking
Are they
adored
releasing episode by episode or binge?
yeah, episode by episode.
Okay, cool. So I
That's-
basically
adored
need
it.
to like watch the recap, and I can't watch
Yes,
the
we
recap
watched
and
the
the last
recap.
episode.
How
Okay.
many episodes are out so far?
That's the one.
Oh, okay, right. Then I'll watch that.
It's superb.
Okay.
It's superb.
Yeah, I'll watch it
Loved it.
before it'll pod.
Even though it's a little bit cheatery, it's still superb. It cheats.
A bit what?
It cheats a little bit. I
Oh,
think
is it?
it's a little
Okay.
bit cheap, yeah. But it's very good. Right. Okay. And that's what we've been playing this week. It's time to get to your questions. Sean Bell.
Oh my goodness. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Maria Mendieta has done that. Dear TCGS Copperhead Charmers, David mentioned how much he yearns to play something Mario related just to be in the character's company. I wonder whether there are limits to that enthusiasm. Keeping his two Maker titles in mind, would any of you be willing to give Mario complete creative control to remodel and rebuild your house? Keep up the phenomenal work. Sincerely, Maria.
No, because he's
a plumber, not a
He's a
builder.
plumber, he can do the plumbing.
Yeah, you can do. Oh, certainly, you can wire him a dishwasher.
Not if the
sure.
movie-
I want
Movies, anything
Luigi
to
there
go by.
as well, because I feel like Luigi keeps him in check on the actual plumbing stuff.
That's absolutely not the. You are forgetting the film where he was
that's
more
true,
of the
yeah.
fuck up.
No, I thought they're both.
And the dog falls out the window. I watched that film again yesterday. It's better than you remember.
Is it funnier than you
watched
remember?
it once in the cinema and
Doesn't
got
have any
snobby
joke.
about it.
I've seen it loads of times because I had to fucking buy it, didn't I, on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, we bought it on Amazon. So
Yeah.
well, it's there then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun. No, I wouldn't want him anywhere near my house. I don't trust that motherfucker. Like,
No?
I just don't trust him.
I'd go for it. I think it'd be interesting. See what he come
I
up
think
with.
he would. The thing. So if we're
Yeah, but there's a lot of money on the line
This
for it
is
to
Mario.
be
You
interesting.
don't want to do anything yourself. You fucking
Exactly.
lazy bastard.
It'd be
But
great.
you wouldn't trust him with lots of money.
But who's paying for this though?
I was
Well,
gonna
there's
say,
you, like,
because
let's say-
where's his mindset? Because are we saying this is Mario born and raised in Brooklyn and then went to the Mushroom Kingdom? So if he's designing and building a house here, is he bringing the Mushroom Kingdom to our world?
I would hope so.
Or is he just building a normal fucking house?
Well,
I'd
I mean,
love
is he
some-
the architect? Is he the builder? Like, you know, is he doing
Like, is there
everything?
going to be green pipes everywhere?
Do we get to
and
define
fucking-
it?
do you know what I
I'd
mean?
love some pipes to get around the house. It'd be great.
With it,
Imagine
if you
if
make
you
him
had a
jump
money
and he
block in
jumps
your
up,
house.
there's a fucking hole in your ceiling. Although actually, Maria Mendieta says it's Mario, so it's not. It's Mario. So it's very
Right, yeah.
small plumber is going to walk in and build your house, is he? Not Super Mario.
not?
So he's not going to be regular sized.
Depends if he's been on the mushrooms or not, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah,
Is
there you
Super
go, there's
Mario
some
regular
mushrooms.
sized?
What's that?
What's the regular
Yeah, so
size
normal
one?
Mario
or
is
Super
normal
Mario?
sized for our world, right?
Right, and then Super Mario's fucking
This
massive.
is like what, like 12 feet tall?
Yeah, holy fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
not
I
under
wouldn't
my
want Super
roof.
Mario doing it. You'll be able to crawl through the fucking door.
It feels like building what happened and he wants to destroy it somehow.
Normal Mario's massive for Matt.
What does that mean?
Are we done with that
No,
question?
what the fuck does that mean?
Let's do the next question.
Dean says, hi, hey, hello. Me and the kid have recently got into watching Disney-related Easter egg videos on YouTube and then calling them out as we watch our favourite movies back. It reminds me of better days when Easter eggs in video games felt like a bigger deal to me, but I can't tell if my dwindling love for eggs is a me problem or if they just aren't as fun anymore for most.
I love
I've got a
eggs.
couple of working theories that involve over-accessibility of, 1, games, because why would you invest the limited time you have into hunting for eggs when you've got hundreds of other easily accessible games to get stuck into? 2, information. YouTube videos of every Easter egg in X game are being uploaded at the same day of release. It's rare now to see a community create a buzz for sharing secrets as they work together to unearth them over time, although Animal Well does appear to be a recent successful example of this.
Yeah.
With that in mind, what are your feelings towards Easter eggs, and have your feelings changed over time? What are some of your favourite all-time gaming Easter eggs? Personal faves all come from the Halo series. The hidden messages scattered across the Halo 2 multiplayer maps, the thirsty nipple grunt from Halo CE, I have no idea what that is, the scarab gun from Halo 2, the cavemen from Halo 3. Much love, appreciate you all, keep it natural, don't fucking stop. Dean.
Dean,
See,
big Halo fan.
Yeah.
I don't care
Go
for
on.
them, honestly.
No?
I just-
Yeah,
don't-
I knew you wouldn't. You just see them as nonsense.
no, it's not
That's
just
the-
nonsense.
this
I
is
just-
silly
I don't-
nonsense.
I just don't care. You know, it's like great, fine, whatever. It's
I think they used to be more clever than they are now. Like now
Yeah.
they feel a little bit like right. So back in the day when Easter eggs were in games, it felt like someone snuck it in, or you know, or someone had an idea and they pitched it and they were like, "Yeah, let's do that." Whereas now it feels like in the development boardroom, someone's going, "Right, we need 8 Easter eggs. Who's got any ideas for Easter eggs, guys?" Like
Really good for the socials, guys. Come
Yeah,
on. We need to-
exactly.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tell you- I'll tell you what I
we
did
need it
like.
to promote the next title. I mean, like Halo, on that example, they had like Destiny kind of signs, didn't they? And, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
right,
that had
yeah,
the
yeah.
Destiny
Halo.
posters
So
in
I
the
thought that was
game.
really cool.
Yeah,
But,
like-
But also,
yeah, yeah.
one of the ones that I did kind of like, even though it was really cheesy and stuff, was the one in Halo Infinite with the Craig stuff. Do you remember that?
Oh, what was that?
It's like where you went on
where
top
they
of a
put
building,
Craig
or
at
whatever,
the
and there
top
was
of-
like a
yeah.
shrine
Oh, yes.
to Craig,
Yeah,
or
you
whatever.
saw
and
that,
I was
yeah.
like,
Craig. Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
was quite good. That was a good recent one. But we are literally just listing.
More Halo.
We're listing Halo Easter eggs at this
I mean,
point.
like
It's
the
it's just Halo.
Sorry, go on.
Naughty Dog games typically do quite well. I mean, I'm fairly sure in in The Last of Us, there was they went to like a museum at one point, and you saw a like a item, like an antique that referenced something about Nathan Drake in Uncharted. So that's quite cool. If you know the other games in the series or the other games from the same developer, it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. I know that because I've played their previous games.
There's
So they are
one
still
in,
done, but maybe a little bit more cynical these days.
Sports Story. Do you remember, Dave? There was that secret bit you could get to where it's just the devs
That
being like,
well,
we
yeah, was
fucked
that an
it,"
Easter egg? I suppose it was.
Sort of an anti-Easter egg.
Yeah,
wasn't
an
it?
anti-egg. Yeah, I wish there was more like stupid ones, like you're playing a game and then Spyro walks past to go, "Hey, I'm Spyro from the Spyro games." You know? Like, that's a neat
I
little
mean,
Easter
you're
egg
right.
there.
That is stupid. Yeah.
All right.
But then, could you? No, you probably couldn't. But I'm going to say it now anyway because I've started. The way like Dark Souls storytelling works, in the location of like a dead body with an item on it can be like, oh
Yeah.
shit, that
Yeah.
means this or that's related to da. Is that not entirely Easter eggs in a way?
No, it's not.
No,
That's what they call environmental narrative.
Storytelling.
That's what I mean.
yeah.
It's just, we've got a different name for it now. You know what I mean? It's just-
No, because the Easter eggs I'm thinking of is when you jump through a wall in GTA 3 and it says you're not supposed to be here.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that
more
sort of
sort
stuff.
out of universe sort of.
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Next.
The next question comes from Niall, brackets pronounced Niall, not Neil. Started listening very recently, this year's Game of the Year pod, after it was recommended to me on Spotify. Cheers, Spotify. I think you're a great
Yes,
company.
thanks,
Keep paying
Spotify.
artists. Absolutely love it. Gets me through the long commute to and from the office. Here's the question. I work as a designer at Team 17, so I'm interested in knowing what your guys' favourite games are from Team 17 that aren't Worms or Overcooked. Also, if Sean wants any advice for metaphor, it's get the Faker archetype to level 20 ASAP, even though it's dog shit, you're going to need it. Keep on keeping on. That's interesting advice. I don't know what it means. I haven't seen that archetype yet, but
I got 2 from Team 17 that I've liked a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There was well, not even recently. There was Yoku's Island Express was brilliant.
Oh,
God,
yes.
yeah.
Remember that?
Love that
was
game. How has that not got a
Yeah, how is
a
it not sequel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Was that-
what's that team even gone on to do? I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah,
It wasn't Yoku's Island Express. I'm not
Worms
happy.
DLC.
And then the other one was it's a golf game. It's golf with your friends. That was the one.
Oh, that was I mean,
Yeah, 'cause we played it on the stream and
I've played that a lot. I used to play that a lot
you
with
really?
other people. Yeah.
with that lot.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
that was good.
Leisure Suit Larry.
gonna say,
Box
yeah, if
office
we-
bust.
Did they develop or did they just publish that? Can't
I don't
remember.
know. I'm just googling what they've done. And Moving Out was good, even though
never
that
played
was a
that.
bit of a.
Yeah.
It was good fun. You should definitely play that with Isaac.
Yeah, I was going to say that's. the
It's really good
yeah.
fun. Yeah, me and
Yeah.
Harry played it when it first came out. It was we had a good laugh with that. It was a good game. Underrated, I think, because
I-
it's so
I-
much like Overcooked.
Yeah, I really loved my time at Portia. I thought that was
Yeah, I
awesome.
was
That's
gonna
kind of like
say, so, Funnily enough, Isaac started playing that on the Switch.
there's a sequel as well. There's like
there's 2. I found
okay.
out. So there's my time at Sandrock, and then they've got another one on the way.
Yeah.
So
I really like that. That's kind of like a kind of Animal Crossing, kind of like Stardew Valley. You know, there's like
yeah.
you do stuff in the day, and then at night, there's like caves to mine and stuff. But I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah. They published a couple of Roll 7 joints, Not a Hero and Ollie Ollie 2. They're both really good. Not a Hero, I really enjoyed what I played at that. I didn't give it as much time as it probably deserved, but I felt like that sort of came out, and then it was like, no, sorry, we'll go back to doing Ollie Ollie. I don't think it did very well for him, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, because didn't the Ollie Ollie team didn't they get disbanded or maybe done?
Well, they did, yeah. Not a Hero was long before that. So they did.
Well, after Ollie Ollie
1.
World,
Well, sorry.
was that
Yeah,
after Ollie Ollie World?
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Not a, so Not a Hero was after the first Ollie Ollie.
Right.
And as I say, they did not replicate Ollie Ollie's success. Then they're just like, right, we'll just do Ollie Ollie 2 then.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Narita Boy. That was a strange game.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that?
It was. I think it was on Game Pass. It was this really strange sort of pixel art, sort of 2D adventure game. But I just remember, like, I don't even remember how it played or anything necessarily. But I just remember how much like bespoke, beautiful 2D art there was. Like just so many different. Like you were never sort of like, oh well, this is like the tile set for this level. Like it all felt really handcrafted, and there'd be these giant weird creatures that are there for no particular reason. They're just hanging out, and you're like, that must have been fucking loads of work just to draw all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's beautiful.
And in Dredge, I mean, you guys like Dredge, didn't you?
I never played Dredge.
Yeah,
Really?
I never played Dredge.
Yeah,
No.
everyone says it's wicked.
I really like that.
Yeah,
All right.
that's probably enough, isn't it?
Right.
Lee says, whilst listening to some old Erasure tracks, memories from my youth playing Jinxter on the Atari ST came flooding back to me. This made me wonder if you had any game playing memories associated with a particular piece of music.
Yes, I do.
I always find this one fascinating because
because music takes you back, doesn't it, to certain specific places.
and especially when, there was like the 360 era where it was quite easy to play your own stuff and it would magically take the music out of the game.
Oh
Like
God, yeah.
yeah.
Justin Timberlake and Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
God, there's a lot going on in your life when that game come out.
I remember playing Fallout 2 on the PC back in the day, and I had my mini disc player would run into the line in on the PC, so I would play stuff on the mini disc player while I was playing it. So I'd turn the music off on the game, and I used to listen to Spiderland by Slint on repeat while playing Fallout 2. That's like core memory stuff.
Big.
How did you not like Black Country New Road? It is beyond me because they even describe in one of their own songs. They even describe themselves as the world's best Slint tribute band.
What I've heard of that is nothing like Slint, was it?
Maybe listen to their first album. It's fucking
Okay.
wild. I love it.
They were on. This is well off topic now. Have you seen What's in My Bag?
Yes.
YouTube, yeah, because they did an episode of that, and I meant to give you a shout. I've been watching loads of that.
Yeah, I've seen it. Geordie Greep did one as well. We're going to go and see it this year. Anyway, for me, there are two very specific ones. You're absolutely right, 360 era. There's an album called Life in Dirt by The Mutts, which I listened to relentlessly while playing the original Crackdown, trying to find the last orb. So every time I hear that album now, which is not often, I don't listen to it much anymore, but I'm like, oh my God, they're like a really unknown band from Brighton, but all their stuff's on Spotify, but I can't imagine what their like listening numbers are. I'll have a look in a minute. The other one was MotoGP on. Oh, this was on the original Xbox.
Yeah, Climax.
MotoGP on the introduction disc or whatever.
Yeah. That's the first game I played online on Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, and Blur Think Tank. I wonder if that lines up or if that was a different game. I'm sure it does because I loved Blur Think Tank. I thought it blew my mind. And I remember listening to that over and over again while playing MotoGP and trying to shave half a second off my time.
It's weird, isn't it? Because the other one I remember is it's Black Alicious. It's like Blazing Arrow and I remember the combination with Enter the Matrix for some reason. I don't know why. I just remember having that on, playing that game, which was terrible.
But my one, I even thought about this
Album's
recently.
good, though.
Mine is Speed Devils for Dreamcast, and it was Linkin Park Meteora. Like even the last few weeks, I've had them two are so closely aligned with that game, that album. Plus Speed Devils on Dreamcast was awesome.
It's really,
I'm looking
fascinating to
now.
me that
Blur Think Tank come out just like 4 months after Xbox Live launched in the UK, so it really aligns. Like that is crazy. That is mad. Yeah.
That 360 thing still fascinates me because that must have been a thing that devs like had to put in because it worked on every game. And I remember I think it was Halo 3. If you had your own music on and you're playing the campaign, came up with a little pop-up saying like, "Hello, we know you've got your own music on. We did really put a lot into the put a lot into the music. Like there's a lot. Some of the dramatic beats might not. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was like some of the dramatic stuff might not hit the same way. Basically, if you've got your own music on. So I just think it's interesting that must have been a flag that devs had to use, but then they seemingly don't bother anymore because now if you put Spotify on or whatever, you then have to go and turn the game's music off. But,
Wasn't it right
Yeah.
that some games, I think it was a Burnout game, not Paradise, like one of the other games, they were able to control the music that you were listening to as well. So like if you restarted a level, it would skip the track back again.
oh, even though it was your own.
Even though it was your own music,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
I'm sure that was the case, but I might have misremembered that. It might have been something that I wish it did.
What was
but it
that
didn't.
more recent sort of love letter to Burnout where it just didn't
Drive,
have a soundtrack?
Drive.
Yeah, was that was the one where they used Spotify instead, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
hated
they
it.
did my
I
license.
hated it. I thought it was really bad. It was a lot of people from the original development
Yes.
team. It's called
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like Crash Club or Drive. Oh, it's got a really generic name, like Drive Game or something. I can't remember what it is now. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a really
someone will
generic
mention
name.
it in
Anyway,
the
thanks
chat.
for listening to the computer game show.
Oh yeah, I'm not having a pop, but you know. But yeah, that was really annoying. That was. Yeah, you had to put your own
Yeah.
music in it.
Moving on, Rob S says, hello TCGS folks. Last week, one of the listener questions described you as being like a podcast boy band. Given a boy band is generally made up of the talented one, the sexy one, the cheeky one, and the one who's just lucky to be there, which of you is which?
Right. Okay. Let's go through this. We know who the sexy one is
Nah.
because it just comes up constantly. Yeah,
Well,
Matt
that's
takes that.
take
I don't want to go into the others.
Come on, we all know where this is going.
Where it's going is, we're all lucky to be here.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
that's a
with
fact.
you,
yeah.
James, the talented one, James.
The sexy one, yeah, cheeky one, James, yeah.
Yeah, James.
'cause I
isn't
wouldn't-
cheeky.
James is all for them, yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm the talented one, but I'm definitely not the cheeky one. So I think Dave
So
is
maybe
the
you are
cheeky
the one that's lucky to be here.
Maybe, yeah, by default, I'm either the talented one or the one who's lucky to be here.
I think I'm the talented one.
Nah, you're the cheeky one.
Okay, let's
Cheeky
move
boy.
on.
Yeah, definitely cheeky.
Oh, I don't know. I sort of built this whole thing.
Yeah, cheeky, very
Back in
cheeky.
2006.
Very cheeky.
MD
James
Krabos.
is cheeky.
He is
Look at his
nice.
cheeks.
Cheeky
He's
sausage,
like a
isn't he?
big baby. If you put him in a nappy, he'd look like a big baby.
You'd love that, wouldn't you, James? Being a big nappy.
No.
Well, then why are you smiling, James?
Yeah.
That was,
Why are you shitting? Why are you shitting right now?
a solid defence.
You've been spying on me.
Should we do? Right, okay, it's gone too far. Let's do one more.
Let's
and
do
then
10
get
more,
out
10
of
more, 10 more, 10
it.
more.
No. Last one.
Last 10.
Gasman says, hi lads, recently my country has bought new locomotives for the national train service. I discovered this over Christmas when I was travelling and saw one of these new machines. While looking at it and slightly zoning out, I half muttered to myself in awe, my god, trains are really cool. This was immediately replaced with the sinking realisation of, holy fuck, I am old now. Question to the three of you, when did it hit you, the three of us? Hang on. Question to the three of you, when did it hit you that you are now old or at least no longer young? Bonus question for James, was it difficult making the switch from stone to bronze?
I mean, you laugh, but a lot of people weren't convinced, and the benefits and
it was a fact.
Yeah.
was quite difficult. But yeah,
This will be shit. It's a difficult follow up, isn't it, to Stone? It's like, where'd you go from there? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did it.
Can it really improve on that? Probably not.
Yeah.
Weirdly for me, it's also been sort of interest in public infrastructure and transport and stuff. I just went in down a massive YouTube rabbit hole on that stuff and was like, oh man, this is bad. This is when Isaac visits me as an adult, I'm going to be like, oh, how did you get here? What route did you take?
that was the thing. I watched the video that was all about like what the M25 was supposed to be and everything. It was
Oh
a
my
really
God,
long
really?
video about the whole thing. Really interesting though, about how they messed it up and it ended up being half of what they expected it to be.
You fucking loser, but also
See,
send me
my-
a link. Send me a link.
Mine's more blunt than that. It was when someone in my office said, "Oh, you're the same age as my mum," and I was like, "Oh."
A friend of ours at work was asked by a younger colleague if he remembered 9/11, and he's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Do you remember? Like you weren't there, but like you were around when it happened." And he's like, "Yeah, of course I was. Why?" And she's like, "No, I was like 3."
So weird, isn't it? Yeah, or when Millwall hired a manager that's younger than me, that scared the shit out of me. I was like,
It's
"Hold
that.
on,
It's
man."
when you see footballers that it's like, oh, he's born 2005, and you're just like,
yeah.
Because I get really hung up on age for some, and in the most petty way. In that, like, if I see someone that's successful and they're 42, I'm like, well,
Okay, you got 2 years.
You got 2
yeah,
years.
you got 2. Yeah, I used to think that a lot. Like, well,
And then I'll see something that, like, they did when they were like 38, and I'm like, no, that's not right.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham's won a Champions League. Do you know what I mean? He's won a Champions League medal, and he's had. When was he born? Let's
I mean, Luke Littler's 17 and he's a world champion.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've spent my entire life trying to hit a 180, and that guy has won. What about this? I started podcasting in 2006, right? 15 years later, a boy was born and won an independent podcast award.
Yeah.
That time.
Yeah.
How do you think that makes me feel? Not very good.
This question doesn't affect me because I am still young.
Oh, well, there you go. That's all right then.
So,
No one believes that.
I
No one
believe
believes
that.
that anymore.
I believe that.
Jude Bellingham was born in 2003.
So he does remember 9/11.
Okay.
I was reading about the Millennium Dome the other day. There was someone did a big Blue
Fucking
Sky
hell.
thread about it.
The Millennium Dome.
Millennium Dome, do you remember
We
that?
call it the O2
Yes.
Arena now, mate.
No, I know, but this was
Fucking loser.
about it when it was first built and like all the weird shit they put in it.
Well,
And
I
now
got
every exhibit was like sponsored by Tesco or whatever. And it's just really fucking bad, but also sort of fascinating and kind of sad that obviously it's all gone. Yeah.
What do you mean it's
How's
all gone?
all the venues still there?
Just
'Cause
look-
that's
sorry,
the
yeah,
gigs.
the venue's still there, but like all the
It
exhibits.
took
and
out
stuff.
like the massive human body and all that kind of
Yeah.
thing for it. It's not there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and
loads of
instead they've got a Nando's. It's great.
Yeah.
It's much better
Yeah,
now.
we've
Who
got a
needs a
Nando's
massive-
and a gig venue
a
that we
Wetherspoons?
will
Yeah.
fill one day.
Perry
So,
Nays,
like,
dip.
100%.
Real job.
And thank you so much for your questions. That's it, isn't it? I'm sure. Matt,
Dave's like, I better do something before he speaks again.
do you want to do the social?
There's one other question I wanted to do, but maybe I should save that. But
Which one? Go on.
Go on.
No, please. I'm really tired.
I don't care. Go on, Matt. That makes me want to do it more.
Well, MD Quabuffs, would £100 be too much to play for GTA 6? I mean,
Well,
I would
I
pay
was
£100.
thinking the other day, is this going to be the first £80 game?
I mean, they could 100% go away with it.
I think
couldn't
they
But
could.
I
but
don't think they would.
I think there's this. Everyone's like, oh, this could be the one that really breaks the barrier, and it's like, yeah, but only for themselves. I don't think anyone else will be able to.
No one else
suit.
can. No one else can.
No,
follow
no,
suit.
No, they won't do that because they're monetized it out of the
Yeah, they're
online
making
game,
so
innit?
much money out
It's
of it
like,
anyway.
who cares?
It would be ridiculous to do
But if
that.
any
It would
game
get a lot
could,
of negative press.
this would be the
agree,
game, and I would pay £100 for GTA 6.
I know you're going to pay more than that. You're going to pay £700 for a bit of hardware to play it on that.
Possibly. I
We
do
all know
see,
that.
like, PS5 Pros on Hot UK deals, only 620. I was like,
Can you
hang on, how much were they?
Can you
thing is,
imagine though,
though-
if that's the only way to play it on console? At
Well, that's
60
the only way to
frames?
play it 4K 60.
Well, I think it
Yeah,
probably-
I can see
realistically,
that.
it probably will be. Yeah.
If you want 4K 60, you have to buy a Pro. I can see that happening.
The thing is, like, we should acknowledge that, like, thanks to our patrons and stuff, we're not really equipped to answer these questions anymore, are we? 'Cause it's like we have to talk about it on the
Because
show.
we're fucking loaded.
We're rich as fuck.
But I would
and-
have paid that money without the Patreon.
Okay.
That's the thing. Because
You know
it
what I
is.
mean? There's things I've I bought the fucking special edition of Starfield. So I was like, well,
Oh, yeah.
it means I can talk about it on the show this week instead of having to wait and
Yeah.
do it for
How'd
you
that work
guys,
out?
really. So you should thank
Yeah.
me.
The stuff we've gone
Um,
through for you lot.
Yeah. No, the point is, like, there's things we can, like, gaming stuff we can buy now that we can justify as like an expense, right? Which I'm really appreciative of, but it also means when people send questions like this, I'm like, well, yeah, I probably would, but because I'm in a weird position now that I'm very grateful for, but it's, we're not normal anymore. That's what I'm
No.
saying.
There was a lot of self-conscious rambling
sorry.
there from Sean to end the
Someone
show.
just turn the computer off.
Goodbye. Matt, let's do the socials.
Yes, we stream this podcast live on Twitch every Monday night, and if you want to watch that, go to twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you've got an Amazon account and a Twitch Prime account, connect them. You get something called Twitch Prime Gaming. We can give a free subscription to another channel. So why don't you go to our channel, at twitch.tv/TCGSCO and give us your free sub. We really appreciate those who do. If you miss the stream live, go to YouTube, search at TCGS or TCGS, and you'll find streams or the podcast to watch. We're on Blue Sky. Just search tcgs.co on Blue Sky and you'll find all our accounts. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/TCGS to support what we're doing. Monthly bonus podcasts, talk servers, streams, it's all over there. And not only a website, but go to tcgs.co, which is our link tree, which has links to all our socials, all the places you can follow us, the podcast, it's all over there. So go to and the store and the Discord.
Well, thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week on another fantastic episode of the Computer Game Show. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.